it fun.
All right, you guys, welcome to another edition of our Mandela Effect show. Welcome, all Mandela Effectians. Okay, so yes, I'm dressed up like Captain America in lieu of the new Marvel movie that's out now, and I've got Thor here to back me up, as well as our other guests on tonight. I want to give a special shout out to Kiera, who also does. Hi, Kiera.
Hi.
Good to see you. Great to have you on.
Thank you.
Tell us about your Facebook real quick and your.
My Facebook page, I started last summer with absolute frustration with other groups of people saying always was, trolls, always was, when I feel we are all entitled to our own reality. And yes, there's a lot of proven Mandela effects, but I also allow people to present personal Mandela effects of what have happened, because my back stairs went from white to green. I'm not even kidding. And I feel that people, if they cannot express what they're dealing with, and they don't have that safe spot to land, and they don't have, say, family support, my group is very much supportive of each other in that sense, where we can all discuss things without fear of being ridiculed, called crazy, or no, it always was. So please join my group if you're frustrated with the other ones, and see what we've found, because we got a lot of new Mandela effects that we find.
That's right. So you guys are about welcoming newcomers and everything like that, right?
Oh, always.
That's good. That's good, because we're all looking for a place to turn, and we don't want to be ridiculed anywhere we go. And I'm sure you're all aware of what's happening. We're living in basically this upside down world, it seems, and that's the kind of the theme of the show for tonight, because we have a lot to should share about that.
I think, Brian, she's familiar with everybody on the panel. Everybody's been here before, right?
You've been on here before. You know everybody here, right?
I think so. I hope so.
Any new faces that you see?
No, actually, no. Hi, everyone.
Okay, yeah.
Hello. Yeah, if you don't recognize any one of our icons, just holler out. We'll identify ourselves.
Right.
Okay.
And I got my mask on. I wear my mask every day.
I forgot my cosplay outfit, though. You may not recognize me.
Yeah, right.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Brian. Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello, Don. I love all y'all. I just love everybody on here. I couldn't have picked any better place to be.
And Brian, can you remember to pop out the chat for us?
Yes, I'm going to pop out the chat here in just a second. I do have a lot to share. Just briefly, some things that I've seen from other channels. EYA did a whole bit on this. I have to mention her channel, so a huge shout out to her. As far as this goes, I mean, like I said, it's an upside down world, and I believe this all started with the upside down Christmas tree idea. I mean, who in the heck has upside down Christmas trees? That's just
not me.
And look at that, the AI crashed my page.
Well, never seen
it. Look, here's banana trees. Look how bananas grow. Do you guys remember banana trees growing upside down like this?
Nope.
Nope. Right now.
Like that.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
No, it's bananas.
What? Nuts are growing upside down too?
Look at these houses. How people are building houses upside down now.
They're all in California. Every last one of them are in California.
No, those just fell off cliffs. Those just fell off cliffs.
So what are we building now? We forgot how to build them. We lost the recipe.
Oh, there you go. What is that?
It is cool, though. It is cool. Come on, those are really cool.
Hey, what's the purpose of have shingles on your house? You ain't got no roof.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's your basement's on your roof.
I was wondering, have you heard of anybody posting stuff like this in your group yet?
Yeah, the bananas. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, we had a Nathan Sanders. He credit him for that. He posted it in my group, and I was just thinking, what about that old music video for that 10-foot bunch? Daylight Come, that one. Because I remember that video, they were chopping down bananas. Anyone check and see if they're upside down in that video?
Oh, I'm sure they are now. But I did manage to find a bit of residue here. I mean, I know it kind of looks like a palm tree and whatnot, but these are bananas kind of the way I remember them. Here's another picture off of Vector Stock. That's somebody else that kind of matches our memory a little bit. See the bottom of the bananas right here, and there's the top. They're all linked at the top, and they're hanging down, just like I remember.
Wow.
This is something that I found. This is residue from Donkey Kong Country. Of all video games. Come on, any gamers out there?
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good.
You see, let me
Donkey Kong was a good idea.
You see all the bananas hanging down?
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
And then we have God. Apparently Michelangelo is mocking God here. Okay, we have the sun over here, and this is called the creation of the sun and the stars. And we have apparently the moon right here. God is, I believe they're mocking God right there.
I have no recollection of that at all.
No.
Nor do I.
Does anyone else know another piece of work by Michelangelo that was affected by the Mandela? Can anybody think of it?
Yes.
I thought
God. Creation of Man, sorry.
Creation of Man.
I thought it was, is that Da Vinci's,
the one with the pointing the finger, and now God is lower than, you know, like.
Let's share that one too, real quick. Hold on.
God is higher, but his fingers bent, like going upwards instead of downwards.
Right.
Right. Michelangelo's what is it called again?
With the creation of man.
I think it is called that, Creation of Man.
Yeah.
There's residue with Bruce Almighty.
This is Sistine Chapel is what it is. This is Sistine Chapel.
Yes, in the Sistine Chapel. Look how Adam's hand rises above God's, but many of us remember God's being above it, somewhere up here.
Absolutely it was. Absolutely it was.
Yeah.
If you look now, though, I figured it out that it looks now like God's eyesight is pointing to man's heart if you line things up. So it's like it's shifted down, like he's looking into man's heart.
Yes.
Interesting.
I posted it on my Facebook group. If you type it in, you'll find it under the search bar. And it's kind of interesting how literally that's what it is. It's shifted just enough that before he was looking like into the eyes, now it's shifted enough like this. He literally is looking into man's heart.
Yes.
Wow.
That's good. That's a good catch.
Good catch.
Yeah, good catch.
And not to mention Michelangelo, didn't he do the statue of Moses?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, the one with the horns now.
Mm-hmm.
There was no. He was not horny before. Trust me.
You know, I have a question for you, Brian.
Yeah. Go ahead, E-Man. I'm sorry. I'm opening up.
Brian, I have a question for you.
Look at that.
Brian, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
when we wasn't online.
E-Man, can you?
When we wasn't online, we didn't have all these glitches, and now we got all of these freezers. It's like they doing that on purpose.
Hey, wait a second. Look how Moses is looking to the left now. I don't remember him looking to the left.
That's not me. That's not me.
What?
No, it was Cowboy.
Oh.
That's somebody else.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you guys remember Moses looking off to the left?
No.
No.
Is that new?
No.
No, I mean, is that new? Because I don't remember him looking to the left.
I think it is new.
Yep.
Left.
Yeah, it's got to be new.
He was looking straight on, I thought. And here's a new one.
Yeah, I gotta look at the video because I did a video on that. Let me go check.
Yeah. Maybe you can catch yourself talking about it. But look, here's a video, or actually a picture from Back to the Future 1. where Marty is pointing out John F. Kennedy Drive, and the dad says, "Who the hell is John F. Kennedy?" Lorraine Bain's dad. And notice how he's winking as he's pointing a finger like a gun. I don't remember Marty winking like that. That's not him. No. That's just too weird.
I have seen so many changes in the Back to the Future, the first one. I have now seen 3 vans, 3 guitars at the beginning. He now walks up to the principal and goes nose to nose. He never touched noses before at the principal. Now it's like he's having a standoff, when before he was a little bit, didn't want to, be chicken, but he also was right in his face.
He was a little bit timid. He was a little bit unsure.
Just a little bit, yeah. Until he was talking to his dad, saying you can't be like that, and
Right.
Yeah, there's so many changes I've seen over the years, and the van just changed for me 3 years ago. Again, I've seen 3 now.
Brian?
Yes?
I sent you a picture in your messenger. It has nothing to do with this, but it's something I never saw before.
Wait, what is it? You sent it to me in the chat?
No, in Messenger.
Messenger.
Okay, I'll check.
What is this? The arch?
Okay, this is Troy's topic. Troy was going to talk about this for a brief moment. Yeah, Troy?
Yep, I'm here. Give me a moment, guys. This right here was the Iron Pillar of New Delhi. Has anyone ever heard of the Iron Pillar of New Delhi?
Oh.
No, I have not.
No.
Okay, well, the Iron Pillar of New Delhi, it's something that appeared in the 5th century, and it's the first non-rustable iron pillar that just popped up out of nowhere. If you take a look, the technology on how to cast this never existed. If you know iron, the one characteristic of iron is that it rusts.
Yep, rust.
This is a rust-proof pillar of New Delhi.
I thought it always showed up late for days. I wasn't sure, because I don't have any idea what the Iron Pillar of New Delhi is. I have no idea at all what it is.
Look at it.
It's the first time I heard of it.
1,600 years old, and it's not even a bit of rust on it. You'd think they would have passed this technology down to generations, to other generations, to think we should have rust-free stuff today,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's just too weird. I mean, I'm not denying that.
Does anybody else have a recollection of the Iron Pillar of New Delhi?
No.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
It's interesting. It's definitely one place, if you're in India or wherever, you should go look at it.
Actually, I heard something about it, but I didn't remember it. I mean, I remember hearing about a pillar, but I didn't know where it was from.
Yeah, India is great. If you got $100, you can live like a king for 2 months. It's great, but you can't get out of there because no one has any money. No one has, it's a very impoverished place.
And then we have this Sword of Heaven katana blade forged from a meteorite. That sounds like something out of
Superman,
like Marvel or something. Yeah.
That's,
yeah, right.
That's great. All I know is now I want it. Let's see it. How much does it cost?
It takes it actually absorbs souls.
Really? That's great.
Oh gosh.
That's great.
Interesting.
Yeah. What is it? The Airbender? Is that what it said?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that this necessarily is a Mandela.
You know what? I can't even. I'm sure Laszlo probably already bought it.
Look at C-Man.
Yeah.
E-Man, look at that. It's missing the half T. I mean, it's got a half T on it. C-Net. Yeah. E-Man, you there?
He's checking his video.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, E-Man was the one who pointed out the half T's, especially the one in Walmart. How many of you guys seen the one at Walmart? I mean, you go there all the time, not even noticing. But yeah, now it's missing half the T.
Yeah, it looks like a J. It's been like that for, I don't know, about 5 years for me now. I used to work there.
Wow.
I was the cart girl. How exciting.
I used to unload the truck there.
I'm the guy that just sits in a parking lot and waits.
They call that stalking. Stalking.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring that up.
Sit in the parking lot and wait.
Let's bring
That's
up
not good.
We'll do some shout outs, okay?
Let's bring it up.
Oh, wow. Harold, what is this you sent me?
It's a coconut crab. I've never
they're
seen one of these
huge.
ever.
They
Look at
are
this
so
thing.
big.
Show the picture.
All right, I'm going to show it.
Yeah.
Holy moly, it's almost as big as a dog.
Yeah, you put a
Yeah.
leash on them there, and you take them for walks.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that, Kira?
I actually went to Bahamas back in '97. No, wait, sorry, it was '96, and in April of '96. And sorry, memories. But anyways, yeah, and I was there, and I never saw any such creature, and there was nothing like that.
Coconut crabs. Wow.
Oh yeah, if I saw that, I
Yeah,
would
show
kill
it.
that. I would
Show
kill
it.
that thing immediately. You know what I mean? That's what guys do. We would kill it immediately. That's what, right? I mean, just kill it.
Look at that thing. Look at that thing.
I don't know
I'm
what it
sorry,
is.
Brian.
I'd kill it.
I was checking out my banana video I did
okay.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was checking out that video.
Did you see
Look at that.
Were they hanging down or growing upwards?
That thing's
No, I was
straight out.
still- I
That
was
thing's
still
straight,
looking.
that thing's straight out of like the
I was still
scorpion.
looking, but you was calling me, and I was trying to get back to you.
It's as big as a dog.
So
Look at
we're
that.
talking about these coconut crabs that Harold sent me.
Yeah, that's an Emmy for sure. The coconut crabs.
They're like Pokemon. Like, seems like they're evolving or something. I don't know. Or
World of Warcraft. They're out of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
They come out of the ocean. They attack
Well,
you.
You think
Yeah.
all the foodies out there would be like that would be a main course somewhere, and that you'd hear about it everywhere by now.
You mean that bald guy would be eating it? What is that bald guy's name?
Oh,
The guy-
Zimmerman? It's changed.
Yeah,
It used to be
yeah.
Zimmerman.
Yeah. That guy, he'd eat it. He'd eat anything. He's like Mikey.
You guys, give me a
Ew.
second. I'll pop out the chat here. Yeah, go ahead. So we got Cowboy here. Hey, Cowboy, what's going on, my friend? Cowboy.
Okay.
Cowboy.
Are you showing the
Oh,
chat?
sorry.
Can you show the
Sorry,
chat?
I had it on mute. Hey, thanks for having me here. Love everybody here. Love everybody in the chat. Thanks for having me on your show tonight.
Alright.
Good to have you.
Troy's back. So can you pop up?
Yeah,
Pop up.
I don't get it. Conveniently timed. Everyone there?
Charkay's in here. Rena's here. Hi, Rena.
All right, cool. Yeah, kind of conveniently timed. Right, I start talking about the Iron Pillar of New Delhi. My phone cuts out and goes completely dead.
Oh,
Figures.
Someone didn't want me to talk about that.
Yeah, be quiet. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, right? Thanks, guys. Wow. Shut your mouth. Don't mention the Iron Pillar of New Delhi. Okay, got it.
Kiera.
Okay, where we at, guys?
I don't know. I think, Kiera, what new effects have you noticed?
Okay, let's see. New effects. There's now the Douglas, what is it called? The Douglas sack or cushion? Douglas cushion? A new body part for women, and that never existed.
Oh, I want to hear about that.
It's kind of gross, but anyway.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yeah, there's a new thing there.
Yeah, go ahead.
The thumbs have gotten even lower. If they get any more low, they're going to be right on our wrists.
Oh, wow. I'm checking my own thumbs out right now.
Yeah,
I'm a freak.
as an artist,
I'm a super
I
freak.
see it all the time. I notice I all of a sudden feel like I can't carve the way I used to, and I have to like readjust my tools. It's really annoying.
I can palm a basketball now almost.
So you can do like a complete circle. Like, you remember when you're a kid and you would do like the upside down mask thing, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, I can make a great circle on my finger.
It was more like this. You could never get like a perfect circle. And it used to tick me off because I was like, I want a perfect circle. Now it's like you can do a perfect circle with every one of your fingers. You know? And it's like how far down can this go? It's ridiculous. So yeah, there's a new little bone in here, and it's much lower, even if you look at the skeleton and everything. And I almost worry that it's lower so that they can get that mark of the beast in there easier.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Not about it like that. I mean, you have to question it sometimes, though.
That's wow. I know that our pinky had shifted from being a little bit further away from our ring finger. I've been following that. If you open your hand up, look at your pinky, the distance from your pinky to your ring finger. There's a lot of real estate there.
Yeah, it's really weird. And because of the way I hold my artist knife, I really noticed it. And I think we're shifting so many times throughout the day. People are like, oh, I woke up, I shifted. No, I saw the font on somebody's shirt change. It was fancier, and then it went more block style, and I took notice because of what the shirt said. So, yeah, I kind of did like a double take. And the eyes that, you can see people's eyes have changed a lot. I notice it when I'm talking to people that they have more of a limbo ring, and yeah.
Now, do you yourself have octagonal eyes, or is that like selective here?
Oh, the hexagonal? I see it on some people, and in one picture I saw it on myself, but then when I went to do my eyeliner, I'm like, okay, I don't see it anymore. So, but I do see it on some people I talk to. I don't even understand that.
What's funny is that I was actually going through a restaurant, and I'm not sure if you guys know this restaurant. It's actually called Polly's Pies. Well, we actually honor a lot of the people that they've worked with throughout the years, and they've got a whole compilation of pictures on their walls of all the people that they work with. Well, in these pictures, I'm not kidding you guys, every single person that they depict on these walls, I mean, how simple is it just to draw a circle for pupils? Every one of these people that they had depicted had octagonal eyes. Not kidding you. Everyone. And I went person by person by person by person all the way down the line, and that was the one thing that I looked at, and every single person has octagonal eyes. I mean, some of them are like artist renderings, and looks like they're kind of painted from a picture, but every one of them has octagonal eyes. So How difficult was it to go ahead and paint these things?
That's so freaky.
That was very freaky.
Has anybody noticed some people that they know personally that their eye color has actually changed? Because somebody I know had blue, and all of a sudden they have like green, and I've known them for over 20 years.
That's weird.
And I'm like, your eyes have more of a green tinge than like a powder blue. And it was like, well, they've always been that color. And it's like, frig, no, they weren't. So it gets really shocking.
They've always been that color. Didn't you notice it?
Yeah.
You've known me for 20 years. Holy crap.
But the problem with that, is when it changed on them, to them, it has been that. And so you can't even convince them because they're the shift. For some reason, I don't know what God have done with the people in the Mandela effect community, but it's like it's a barrier around us where when people shift, they don't notice it, but we notice it. And there's nothing you can really tell them because whatever the time shift is, they have changed around it. And so everything that they used to know, they don't know no.
Correct.
No, he believed me. He believed me. He's in the Mandela group. He's one of my administrators, and he totally believed me. And he even said I had personality trait differences, and I was like, I do.
Right?
Oops.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, guys. Hey, listen. Do you think there's anything to the? You know how the astrological signs have changed. Has anyone noticed that if you look at the new astrological signs, has your sign changed?
Yeah, mine has. Apparently, I'm supposed to be Taurus and not Gemini now, but it's
Same
all
here.
done by it's done
Same
by
here.
NASA. So I
Kira,
still
that's
stick to
so
Gemini.
funny you said that. I'm exactly the same way. I was Gemini, and now I'm Taurus. Have you taken
Gemini.
upon those traits?
I got to check mine because I was an Aries.
Kira, have you taken upon those Taurus traits?
Have I what?
Have you taken upon those Taurus traits?
No. No, I'm still Gemini. I'm sweet as anything until you tick me off.
Well, I get that, but I mean, have you noticed yourself a little bit more reserved?
No, not at all.
No? You still follow through with a Gemini way of life, huh? No,
Very
I
much
have.
so.
I've taken on Taurus, and I've seen it, and other people have told me, you don't say much anymore. I'm like, huh? And I think that's mainly because
Stop talking.
What?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still talk a lot, but you know, I think in a lot of cases where I probably would have said things, I don't. I actually sit back and I observe a little bit.
I have to do that in a lot of cases, but it's because I'm a personal trainer, actress, and when you're dealing with people that aren't affected, you can't. You have to observe and take note, and you can't say anything because if you say something, then you know they get the instant. Mr. Smith jumps in, and they get really angry and hostile over their reality being challenged and everything they've known being challenged. So, like somebody said, they said the line Clarice. As soon as they said the line Clarice, I opened my big mouth and said, they don't say that anymore. He says, good morning. And three of the girls literally turned and looked at me like I turned reptilian or something. And they went back to talking. They acted like, ugh, well, who cares what she had to say?
Oh yeah. I think we've all been there. We've all seen that, and I continue to do so. So I become a little bit more reserved when it comes to that. So I sit back instead of saying something. You know, maybe I'll plant a seed, but I won't say exactly what the new reality is. I'll just kind of let it play out.
And you know, me, I'm a talker. I don't think it's a change in me. I think it's a change in growth. And sometimes you grow in this. I know in the Mandela effect, we was all sporadic and was all anxious, and because we are seasoned now, we don't tend to get so hyperactive. And so I know some of it is growth and some of it may be the Mandela effect, but I know in myself, like, this is the quietest I've ever been. I'm more reserved now.
You know, I had a theory that I'll propose later on, but I think right now it's probably not a good time. Ty.
Yes.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Yeah, just like Ty. No, I'm surprised Ty ain't said nothing.
I know. I'm surprised that Ty's not chiming in here.
Kira was talking, and then E-Man, and then you were. I mean, you were all there. You guys say the same stuff. I know Kira's stuff, obviously.
Ty is being polite. What's going on, man? Have you shifted, dude? I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you, man.
I told Ty that the other day.
I think my reputation precedes me. I think that's what happened.
Listen, I want to talk to Ty here really quick because Ty and I, nobody knows, Ty and myself. We actually have our thoughts about some. Look, there's some things that are going on that really aren't being mentioned in the Mandela community, which actually they're outside of that, and that's one thing that I was actually wondering about, which is the merging of two different communities, which kind of makes more sense because it's also prophesized biblically as well, and that's the the approach of the Bureau. And we were talking about this a long time ago. I don't know how much I've missed about some of the conversations in between, but this is one thing that's been appearing here, which is the celestial bodies that have been captured on the FAA cameras of a striped planet that's actually approaching us, or in my case, we're approaching it. And Ty,
that's right. Kira has her own thoughts about that, and they're much more interesting than anything that I could say.
Oh, is that right, Ty? You're gonna take a back seat to this? Oh my God! Okay.
I'm in the back seat, like you wouldn't believe it. The doors are locked, and I'm not coming out.
Is that what it is? Okay. Okay, Kira, I'd love to hear since the baton has been passed. Please share.
No, I probably shouldn't, because then I get attacked on my channel
No,
for
you won't.
my views on things.
Well, maybe on your channel, but not here. Not here.
We all read your stuff. I know what you're saying.
Actually, I already kind of came forward with this and this idea that all these planets seem to have appeared, and there's at least 5. And I've noticed that there's a sun simulator, and there's now a lunar simulator.
It seems like that.
And there's a planet. I don't know what planet it is, but it seems to be moving from south to north, and it simulates the moon at night. Sometimes when you look up in the sky, you can find the moon, and then you find this planet moving from south to north.
Yes.
And they caught 2 of the planets on a cam in Alaska, Barrow, Alaska, and a jet used the sun simulator to glare it out so that it disappeared. But I know that there's at least 5 different planets that don't belong here, and I know that we're pretty much not where we were. So we have to ask ourselves a question: are they trying to hide where we are from everybody, and they're hiding the moon because the moon doesn't look like our moon, and therefore they use this moon simulator, because I've seen the moon rotate 90 degrees on its axis and rotate backwards. And
I've seen worse. I watched it turn into a square. I went to the park late with my daughter one night. Yeah. And we're sitting there, and I tried to film, and I have the film, but it's hard to make out, but it looked like it was melting. I'm not even kidding. It started to go kind of square, and then it looked like it started to drip, and we're just staring at it, and she's like, Mom, the Matrix, it's breaking. What's going on? And I'm like, I don't know either, but it literally, and we've even seen it disappear. We've seen it literally on a clear night disappear, and we're like, okay, where'd it go? And the same star or whatever it was there as our marker. And then all of a sudden, when we went back across the bridge, it's like, poof, it was there again. And we're like, what is going on? Are we dreaming?
Maybe the fact is, maybe there isn't a moon, and that's the problem.
Now, Brian
and that they're using a holographic moon to
it could be. You know what I was going to say? Brian had showed me a video earlier. Brian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Brian has showed me a video earlier. I don't know if you want to play it, or if you can play it.
Okay.
But you know, I was leading up to this because, you know, I can't validate the truthfulness of this particular video, but I saw this. This actually kind of blew my mind. And look, who knows what is really real in this kind of reality that we're in? But you know, I saw this thing, and I was truly blown away. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Brian, you want to play that one and let people judge and see what's going on with that?
Is that the one with them flying above the sun?
Yes, you have to see.
Yeah.
But they're actually flying through the sun, it looks like. Hold on.
They're flying through the sun.
Now watch it before you play that video, Brian.
Yeah.
This is what I think may be happening, because they have technology that the masses don't understand. They have these cloaks, they have these green screens, and so maybe they're playing tricks with us to keep us guessing. Because if you have a cloak, you can throw something in the sky to block out the moon, and the moon haven't gone nowhere. You just covered it up, and so maybe they're playing these games with us to keep us guessing, to keep us on our heels. Because I done seen these cloak machines where they can put a cloth over their body, and it looks, and they and you can see right through them. And so they have technology, and you know they got the holographic technology. And so if you throw a cloak up there with the holographic screen, you can pretty much emulate anything you want, and everything that we know is still there, but they blind us from it so that they can keep us guessing.
No, you're right, man. Absolutely, you're right. I mean, who knows what is the real truth? That's why everyone take a look at this video here. Just judge it for yourself, because who knows what's really real.
The aircraft is flying out of the sun right here in this corner. You see it? What is that? Is it an aircraft? That is so crazy, you guys. You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so we've seen enough of that. Then there's this other video. It looks like it's a combined video because there's another one.
What you didn't see in that video, it looks like the clouds was behind that sun.
Right.
You know what? You're absolutely right. It does look like something's behind the clouds, or behind the sun. Clouds behind the sun. Is there anyone in the chat kind of moderating the chat? If there's any questions, by the way.
What is this? Is this the fake sun or the real sun? Or is that even a sun at all? That's
the point. No one knows what it is. Obviously, it can't be the sun because there's light emanating from away from it. So obviously, something's wrong. And this gives rise to flat earthers, of course, because it definitely looks like a sun. And but it's definitely not the sun simulator, because the sun simulator is not that. That's something else.
Correct.
And it can't be Photoshop. I mean, it could be Photoshop, but that's a really, really good job of Photoshop, wouldn't you say?
That would be an amazingly long time to edit something like that to have it to like near perfection.
Right.
I got a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Doug.
And for what reason?
I was wondering if anybody noticed, like a few days ago, that it stayed daylight till like almost 8 o'clock. And then the next day,
summertime.
At around 6.
I know that's been happening for the last 2 months. That's been happening. Like it's been off balance. One day is bright at 6, and the next is dark at 6. It's like it can't make up its mind. Because I take my wife to work at that time, and I said, "Why is it not a balanced thing?" It's like every now and then it act like it's spring, and then it act like it's winter.
Yes, but
another thing y'all haven't noticed. Right now, I'm in Chicago. It's May 27th?
March.
April.
And we don't have
May, March, April, whatever.
April 27th, and we have no leaves on the trees still.
I know.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're doing.
Hey, Joshua Levy's in the chat. Hey, Josh. What's going on, bro?
I wanted to know.
Hey, what's up, Josh?
I wanted to know from Kira, and I wanted to know if you could speak on it, because I wanted to know how the other half lives. You are more in tune with what's going on as far as the event and the Ascension, all that other good stuff. I wanted to know how those groups are doing. How are they reacting to things? Are they doing well? Are they nervous? Are they, obviously they're seeing changes, but how do they feel about it as a group?
I find that I am having more and more Ascension sickness. It's about every 3 months I will see such a drastic change. First of all, name changes in my newsfeed, and I will literally write them and say, did you change your name from Lisa with 1 eye to 2 eyes? No, always was. And I check even their little IP thingy or their URL, and it'll say that it is Lisa with 2 eyes. And it freaks me out because a lot of these people I've known for years, and to see their last names change, like let's say Rickman with a Y to an I, stuff like that. And when they say it always was, and I am seeing so many drastic changes in people's personalities. I am seeing drastic changes in things around town are changing. Buildings are changing. Lettering is changing faster than meets the eye. And I actually find every 3 months approximately now, I am getting so ill that my third eye kills, because I don't know if a lot of you know, but I've done readings. I never charge, but I mean, I can foresee things. I always have. I will write myself and say, I foresee a landslide, because I'll get a vision like a movie, like replaying in my head, and I try to pinpoint where it is, or people dying or whatever, and I will write myself so I have a timestamp. And I found that it's picked up so bad that I literally get like a pounding right in the center of my forehead. So I just say it's a third eye headache. I mean, it's just kind of my little joke, but it's so bad that for a full week, I was laid out in bed with hot, cold shakes so bad, and headaches so bad, and dizziness so bad that even with my eyes closed, I was spinning. And it wasn't food poisoning, nothing like that. Nobody else got sick around me. It's literally something that I deal with. And I'm finding it harder and harder, the more lucid the dreams, the more visions I'm getting, that it is prophecy, and it is very much like what is stated in the Bible is going to come to a head within like the next 3 years. We are going to see really bad things, and it's not going to be pretty. And I keep warning people to get prepared, get bottled water, get food that will last, you know what I mean, like protein bars, whatever it is. Get things off top shelves, because the earthquakes are going to become so terrible that we're talking about. I have literally seen buildings falling into like streets, like cracking right down the center, like a really bad, scary movie where it's just apocalyptic. It's going to be really bad. And I really wish I could shift away from it, but I know I am supposed to be here to try to awaken people and help those souls that are deserving to move on. I sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand.
It's part for the course here. We know what it is. Like I said, I know what you believe. I know. I read your stuff, and she's no more crazier than any one of us. It's all part for the course, believe me. But what it is this it's a spiritual. She believes in a spiritual ascension, a spiritual journey. There's different levels, and where it's basically what we call a shift. She would consider to be, unless I stand corrected, an ascendic.
Yes.
That's what it is. And
closer and closer to the fifth dimension, closer to the new earth, all that.
Right, and she would view us on the opposite side, on the opposite end of the scale of people that are aware. We'd be on the other side of the fence, so to speak.
Yes.
Kira and
yes.
Ty, or anyone else can answer this one too. Josh wants to know, does everyone feel like we're coming into another huge wave of Mandela effects? I'm curious if others feel it quickening too, like I do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. We're going to see things that are so drastic. You know how there was a JFK? I think there's going to be another huge history change that will shake a lot of us. And it'll be like, no way. For me, it was the Lindbergh baby and JFK. I mean, there's going to be a huge one. It's going to be like, more shocking than Hitler having blue eyes. I mean, it's going to be a big one. I'm not sure yet which one it's going to be, but it's going to be a huge change.
Kira, how are you handling dissension?
Pardon?
How are you handling dissension among your ranks? Obviously, they don't all agree. So how are you handling that?
Anytime, if you're referring to the trolls in my group, that can happen.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, anytime that happens, I've seen people have drastic personality changes that were in my group since the beginning. They used to argue with other people and say, no, it always was. And they'd be like, no, don't say that to me. It wasn't. And then, you know, my administrators or I step in and say, please read the rules. We do not do the always was. You can say always was for myself, you know what I mean? Right. And yeah, but I noticed it did pick up that more and more people that were affected and sweet, it's like their consciousness has shifted, and it's almost like a bot has taken over and have the Mr. Smith mentality. Do you know what I mean? It's like a Mr. Smith jumped in, and they're fractured souls here, and it's the one that's less empathic, less compassion, less loving, and they're ready to jump on anyone that says anything otherwise. Do you know what I mean?
We call that the Mr. Smith paradox.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and it's been happening more and more, I noticed. So we got to really keep on it to make sure that even people that have been in the group for a while are playing nice, and they haven't left the building. They're building.
All right, that sounds good.
Well, speaking of leaving the building, I actually have an Elvis picture that shifts depending on which way you look at it. It's one of those new lenticular photographs. I can go get it real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. I also have one of Marilyn Monroe, and I have one of Jesus at the Last Supper, and he's got a cup on the table.
Josh Levy
A
has
cup on
another
the
question.
Yep.
Josh Levy has another question. Can I read it?
I read it. Can you read the question?
Sure. It says, another question for the panel. Brian, does anyone feel that the coming changes will reflect a darker dimension, the upside down, as in Stranger Things, like upside down bananas, or will it be balanced? Well,
It's not going to be balanced.
That is the question. Is it? You kind of hope it's going to be balanced, but no, it won't be balanced. It will get worse.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, it'll get worse. Yeah. The only difference being is that we'll see it and other people won't. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, just like Tom said, this is the roller coaster of the Mandela effect. I mean exactly how he says. Forget it, Lord Jesus, I forgot how
he says it's the greatest show on earth, baby.
Oh yeah, right, the greatest show on earth. Yeah.
That's what he says.
Mandela effect. There you go.
That's what he says. But yeah, it's
Thank you for getting me right, because I almost forgot it.
Yeah, E-Man, you only get one. That's it. Just one. Everybody gets one. Now,
I noticed it has steadily increased a lot since 2016 for me has been a complete, like, the roller coaster went up as high as it can go, and now I'm waiting for it to crash. But I started noticing things in 1987, and it got really crazy for me because I was a loner. There was no internet. There was no comparison. It was just my memories and me feeling a little bit like a nut job because I'm like, it was McDonald's, like Old McDonald Farm, you know, and why is it all of a sudden MC, and different things kept happening and people's names changing a little bit back then. And I thought, oh, I must have just remembered the spelling wrong and things like that. And when my mom's maiden name changed from Mac to Mick, that's when
oh my goodness,
I had no doubts in my mind that I wasn't, you know, I just kept it to myself, but I knew I wasn't crazy because I saw it.
You're looking at Marilyn Monroe, and she's shifting right now as we speak. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's lenticular photographs. I just showed the king, and here is the Last Supper. You guys see that?
Glass.
There's the cup on the table. There's Christ on the cross. Can you guys see that? It shifts. There should be like 4 different ones. There we go. See, there you go. Perfect. Notice how on that last one, did you see how they all kind of merge into one? That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have some exhibits here I'd like to share with everybody. Actually, I'll start with Exhibit A. Fruit of the Loom. There's never been a loom, and it says Fruit of the Loom. The loom basket is gone.
Cornucopia.
Cornucopia. It's never been there. How many of you guys remember this, of course? Exhibit B. JCPenney with a NMY. Here's some residue. See, why is there residue if it was never like it? You know what I mean? Those of you who are new to the Mandela effect, there you go. Kidneys are up higher. It's hard to tell because for me it's reversed. Can you guys see that just right? Is it? For me it's reversed. You guys see that?
Yep.
I saw that one. I saw that change. Yeah.
There's actually a cheat sheet. Kira, you might want to add this to your site as well for newcomers.
Okay.
There's a cheat sheet running around on Reddit. I'm not the one who made this, and I don't know who to give credit to for that, but that's a great thing to share with people. There's the Energizer. Wait, what's that? We have a Duracell rabbit. No.
That's actually in the UK. I was researching that for Laszlo.
Yeah.
It was only for the UK, the Duracell bunny, I believe.
Oh, is that right? That's their explanation.
Yeah.
But I found this was really weird, and I talked about this before on the show. I found a Chick-fil-A in Tifton that did not have the K. The K fell off. It's ironically, the K fell off. Look at that. Chick-fil-A the way it's supposed to be.
Jeez.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Sorry. Yeah, Corey. So, how's your mom and dad doing, man? We've been praying for you.
Yeah, well, thanks to everyone for the prayers. That must be working because so far, my mom's tests, she hasn't got anything back that is conclusive yet there, but she's feeling in better spirits, and she's down in a different province there with my sister, and at the hospital there. So she's with her, and I had to come back up here and look after my dad. And my dad's so far he's feeling pretty good. So
yeah, we really feel very bad for your situation, and we know it's a personal situation, and we didn't want to intrude. Everybody that I talked to is wondering about you. Everybody cares, but we don't want to overstep our bounds because it is so personal. So don't take us being quiet about it as we didn't want to say anything. We all wanted to say something, but we don't want to take up your time because we know your time right now is very important.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Sorry, guys. Who's in the chat right now?
Hey, Lone Eagle.
There's a lot of people in the chat. I was going to say, yeah, Lone Eagle is here.
Come on, Lone Eagle.
But
Lone Eagle here?
But
Yeah.
Corey, it's very, very good to have you here.
No.
It's very good to have you here, and everyone definitely feels the same way, Corey.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's always uplifting to come on here because it's a break away from thinking about everything, and it's worse when it happens to both parents at the same time, kind of thing.
Is your sister a help? Is your sister a help to you? I mean, you're not by yourself. You have your sister too, right?
Yeah, she lives farther away when my mother's at the hospital down where my sister lives right now in St. John. So she can look after her right now for now, so which is good. So
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad that at least you have some positivity because you've had enough negative stuff already.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's very, very good to have you here. And just know that we'll keep praying and we'll keep thinking about you. And, like I said, everyone is thinking about you. We never forget when we get together. We're like, I hope Corey's doing okay. And I just want you to know that is no joke. We really do
Amen, Corey.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless y'all.
God bless you too, man.
Well, I was going to say, guys, I know that, we've got a lot of division that's actually happening out in the community, and I love this community right here. One of the people that I'm sure everyone here knows, and it kind of goes without saying, I'm not getting some kind of grand introduction, but that everyone here should, if you don't know, you probably should. Really good friend of mine. His name is Lone Eagle. He'll be showing up here shortly. So, if you're going through some difficult times, some stress, some conflicts or whatnot, which we all have, and myself, included for sure. This is a person that tells you, pay attention to the shortness of breath, because that's not how our bodies are meant to perform. And there's a number of things that he does in his live feeds, etc. That really put a lot of people at ease. And he's going to be joining us here in just a short minute. So I just want to give everyone a heads up. If you guys have any questions for Lone, just get him ready because he's going to be here for a short while. And if need be, I'll be here to moderate the chat. As you know, that he's a busy guy. This guy, he's like, he wants to be on here as much as he possibly can, but he can only be spread so thin. So just put some questions out that would actually pertain to your situation. So maybe he can go ahead and address them. Kira, by chance, are you're familiar with Lone? I would imagine as well, right?
Pardon?
You're familiar with Lone Eagle?
Oh God, yeah, I'm friends with him. Yes.
Oh, good. Cool. Well, there it goes without saying. I think pretty much anyone and everyone that's been involved, any way remotely with, reality shifts, any kind of Mandela effect, certainly Noah alone. He's covered a number of things. And, a good friend of mine as well. And I've invited him onto the show, so he'll be here shortly. That's all I really wanted to say. Just get ready, get your questions up, make sure that they're relevant, because he'll be popping in. And if we can, have him answer any number of questions here shortly, definitely, I'm sure that he'll be more than welcome to do that as well. So,
guys,
get ready.
Yeah, guys. Josh says, "Did you see the Emmy where the movie The Mask quote changed? You like me, you really like me. It changed to you love me.
You really love me. Yeah, that's a great one.
Wait. No, I don't remember that.
It changed. I know that stupid movie, and it changed.
Wow.
I don't remember him saying. Who remembers him saying, "You like me, you really like me"? Also, who remembers that?
Yep. I do.
That'd be me. I remember that.
It's so crazy. Thanks, Josh, for posting that. Appreciate that, brother.
It was. I got an email from Nathaniel at about 8 a.m. telling me he found that one. So I told him, I said, "You go post that ASAP in my board," and he did. He found residue too. There's a lot of residue on it.
For the mask.
So, just to pick your brain, Kira.
Go ahead, Ty.
Why do you think that I always ask? What do you think is the cause of the Mandela effect? The reason behind it? Why do we see and others don't?
Okay. Well, first of all,
can I add on to that question for everybody?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so not only what do you think it is, but as they continue to happen, because for me, 2015 is when I first noticed it, and I know others are different timelines, but we're still seeing things new coming up, like the Pillsbury Doughboy with his scarf.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I found that one for Laszlo.
Yeah, so with Ty's question, I just like to add on, what do you think it is? And on top of that, why is it continually happening? So it's not just something from the past, right? It's like still continually happening.
Okay, I'll explain the best I can. This is my theory on it, and everything that I have witnessed and seen in the past 30 years worth of these effects for me personally, because it has been 30 years like exactly now, and I find there's a reset in April, and every April I feel like it's like when taxes are due, that's when you'll see shifts in people dramatically. It's almost like there's a reset. And the best way to describe it is if you took a mirror and that mirror was your full soul, and you drop that mirror, and some pieces are bigger and some pieces are smaller, and it's fragmented. Picture those pieces of the mirror as your soul. You have your higher self, and then you have all these little bits and pieces, and they're scattered throughout every single one of these parallels. You take two mirrors, you put them back to back. You know how it's infinite? We are infinite. So that is why we are jumping consciousness into the nearest avatar when we shift. And I think the more we become awake that we are interdimensional beings, the more we can shift. I wouldn't say it's necessarily at will. I mean, I think it has to do with frequency, because I work with frequencies, and whenever people bring another person down, you're in the best mood in the world, and you go to work and everyone's grouchy. What does that do? That brings you down, that lowers your frequency. Well, if you higher your frequency to love, compassion, empathy, all that stuff, and I work with animals, I have an animal rescue as well. You sit there and you show love, kindness, it raises your frequency. What does a hug do? It can raise your frequency and make you feel better. So in that sense, with all these little fractured souls, some have more of that. And I feel like if you look in the community, I've done a lot of research on this, everyone has either died and been brought back or had a near death. And my theory is they actually, and we actually, those I've had, so many close encounters, let's just put it that way, where I'm sure I actually did die. And it's almost like that little piece connects, and then that little piece connects. So I don't believe, I feel like we are being recycled, and this is more than the first time going around. And I tease a lot of times to tell people, maybe I'm not psychic, maybe I'm just remembering the last recyclings and I'm on the same path, and that's why I know what's going to happen, is because somehow I'm retaining it. Because that's what it feels like. Because if you're talking to somebody and you're like, wow, I've known this person my whole life, you probably knew them from your last time around. And there's so many infinite parallels that I don't have my parents anymore. They are completely different, complete personality changes. It's like my dad was a cold jerk. Now he's the funny, sweet one. My mom was the one you could go to. Now she is so cold, so mean, and she drinks coffee, and she wouldn't even kiss my dad in the other parallel if he had a coffee, because she hated the smell even. And in this one, it's, I've always drank coffee. So to me, these are different alternate versions of our loved ones in different avatars. And that's why they'll be like, oh, well, the heart's always been there. And you're like, no, for me, it was definitely a little more to the left. And if you look in the community of people that say it always has been, that deal with, say, I had a friend that was a mortician that blocked me because every time there's a shift and a change, I tagged her and she's like, no, it always has been. I'm like, but last month it was different. And she's like, you're crazy. They cannot see differently. They have to stick with their parallel, their individual avatar, if you will. Because if a doctor opened up somebody and all of a sudden the heart was in the center and they're like, oh, they're going to kill that person. So it's like somehow they are sticking with their specific parallels. Whereas someone like myself keeps shifting and seeing these changes. It's almost like the more awake you are to it, the more you will see. If that made sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I understand what you're saying, but you're talking about.
Now I have a question.
Ty, can you E-Man, go ahead. Sorry.
My question
I have a question.
Wait, can you let E-Man speak and then
if that's the case, why we didn't see this years ago? Why is it increasing now? What is so significant about today than
the internet? The internet, because we can come together as a group and compare notes and say, you know what? I remember it that way too, and now I know that my memory wasn't faulty on, say, the Pillsbury Doughboy or whatever, right? Or JFK, because I remember 4 people in the car. I had to do so much research on that in school that it bored me to tears, but I think there's a reason why it stuck with me, and I had to do that as research in school. Same with the Lindbergh baby, and now he was found and it wasn't a mystery. No, that was like in every documentary I ever saw as a kid, and they talked about, oh, could have been Nixon. Like, I mean, they had all these stupid theories growing up, you know?
Right.
So it's like, I think the internet brought together a community of people that could compare notes, and now we can sit there and say, hey, it was different.
I want to finish with the question. The rest of that question is, if that's the case, what you just said, who is changing the frequencies? Who is in control of these frequencies?
We are in control. We are in control of our own emotions. I have seen people go through devastating things, lose. I have a horrible story to tell you in 2 seconds. Okay, so they have been in car accidents, woken up, and they've either become awake or unawake to the changes because they have shifted. Frequency can change like that in a person. And like I said, a bad mood, and it can rub off on another person, make them in a bad mood, or smile at someone, make them happy. It's the same type of effect. And one of my friends went through a loss, and because she went through a loss, not only is she unawake, she became extremely hostile. She went from showing me changes to, what are you even talking about? And if you talk about the Mandela effect to me, I will block you type attitude, because it's crazy. Yet this was the same person that would message me about things. Now, here's a scary story. One of my friends went in for surgery. I've known her for 4 years. She came out of surgery. Everything seemed fine. And then she commented on one of my posts and said, hey, soul sister, I see you change how you spell your name. And I said, no, I have not. And she said, yeah, you used to have 2 R's. And I'm getting a lot of people saying I had 2 R's in my name.
Hey, Long Eagle, how you feeling?
So I just want to touch back. Let's touch back on the you brought up the JFK thing, and
Yeah.
this is one thing that I try to point out to people with the Mandela effect that affects me, is that a lot of my Mandela effects, they're not just like, oh, wait a second, I remember 4 people in the car or 6 people in the car, right? Or I
Yeah.
remember Fruit Loops, or I remember, I have my memories of my MEs that I see differently. I have attached memories to them. For instance,
Yeah, you do. Yes.
I was born in 1969 in November on the 21st. So, yes, that was a year after Trinity. Okay, but because it was like always around my birthday, as I grew up, it was always on the news. The anniversary of JFK, right? It was a huge deal. And so, as I'm growing up as a young boy, it was devastating for me. It was like, oh my God, to see that picture of the back of his head and his wife like freaking out and trying to put the back of her husband's head on.
Yeah. Yeah, it was gross.
Like
Yeah.
devastation for me, right? And so I attach a memory outside of the actual event to the event. And so when I do that, no, there were 4 people in the car. I'm sorry. That's not. So a lot of my MEs I have attachments outside of just that.
I got to interrupt everyone here. Lone Eagle is in the house, guys. Everyone say hi to Lone.
Lone Eagle.
Hi.
Bonjour, mon ami.
What's up, Lone?
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien, et toi?
Hola.
Pas pire, pas pire.
Good to hear, buddy.
Ça va bien.
That must be the Native American. My heart will go on.
No, when it's French and it's Native American, it's called Métis. So.
I gotta learn that language for sure. What's up, brother? Hey, man, this is Troy. How you doing, brother?
Hey, not bad. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Good to hear from you, man. How's your night?
Pretty good. It's really late now. I'm just tired and just watching stuff online, getting stuff ready for just new things coming out. So
nice.
Yeah.
There is a World War II Mandela effect that I think Harold was bringing up to me, and Lone Eagle, you might be interested to hear about this one.
Sure.
Harold, you there?
Harold's sleeping.
I think Harold left.
It's okay. Dawn had a question real quick, and then we'll go to Harold once he comes back. I'll message him. Go ahead, Dawn. What was your question? Do you remember what it was?
Oh, well, I was going to ask, what's her name?
Kira?
Kira. I was going to ask her if, do you believe in God and Trinity? That that maybe that has something to do with this, and Satan has something to do with this, or anything.
That could be the great deception in itself, and people are not noticing for a reason because they're like baby souls. This is their first time here. They're not going to notice things. We can't force it on them. And those that have been here before are here in a way to do God's work. We're supposed to awaken those that are supposed to ascend and help others. The reason why
I think I'm supposed to help people. I know that. I've always helped people all my life.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Even though I was the one that was bullied and treated like dirt, I'd still, if the bully, if the bully fell, I'd still go over and help them up. I was that type of kid. You know what I mean? And I've always been that way.
Well, thank you. I'm really glad. I try to ask everybody that I meet.
It's hard for me to see people lose their faith and lose their compassion for others and get angry and say, well, I lent that person money. They didn't pay me back. Screw everybody. I'm never helping anyone ever again. Exactly. It's like, that's not what this is about.
No. God's not concerned with, there's bigger things that God's concerned with.
Mm-hmm. Amen. I mean, you could turn around and block all your friends and all that other stuff, but that's not cool. You know, that's living in fear and living in hate. You know, that's not what Jesus told us to live.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a reason why everything is looking to the left. You got the American Gothic looking to the left. You got the thinker going from this covering his third eye to a lazy this to now sucking his knuckles like a baby. I guess he's very stressed too. Because we're supposed to be going back to the left. The right side of the brain and everything. And you think of the left side of the brain and how we are supposed to compute things. Everybody is dealing with, worry. Oh, I'm in debt. Oh, I gotta work till I'm dead to pay off my kids' dental work, whatever it is, right? So everyone is in such low frequency that it is affecting everything from people around them to the actual earth itself. It really is. And if we are all made up of frequency, which we are, water, think of it. Think of what you can do with, if you were to vibrate water, you can make a jump. You know what I'm saying? Well, we are made up of nothing but frequency. And the more and more these people are trying to bring others down, I find as soon as they get like that, I hit the block button, because rather than deal with the negative energies and so much hate, you have no choice. Just move on. Don't fight back.
And that reminds me of something that I've heard recently, which is becoming the new thing, which I think Lou can actually kind of chime in on this one, which is the electric universe. It's really quite prevalent. I don't know too much about it right now, but I'm doing a lot of research and homework on this one as well. Lone, you have any insight on that one?
Yeah, electric universe is a great thing that I'm going through right now. I'm studying. That's like one of the projects I'm working on. And, you know, I put out a series called New Earth Series, and I cover Utah. And I'm actually zoning in on one of the areas right now that I talk about, that I'm going to be talking about. And you just can't deny what you're looking at here. Like, this is too much for water to be doing this. And in the videos that you see, you guys can look at these yourself, Electric Universe channels on YouTube. They explain how this could be made with electricity, and you're seeing lightning. People are now starting to talk about lightning in the Mandela world, how it's different and stuff. So we're starting to see evidence of how the world was created, because I agree that there's a great creator did this. Now we're seeing maybe not the tools, but like how it was put together, and electricity seems to be a part of it. Now this does venture out into Mars, and you know, if you're a flat earther, you just sit back, watch the show, you know, enjoy the show. But the rest, it's very good information. Both planets are eerily similar, you know, with the canals and the markings on the planet. You guys are going to see this. A lot of the things that are on Mars are on Earth in this very small area that we're talking about here. So this is very intriguing. It's what pulled me off Mandela Effect, actually, because I kind of gotten addicted to Mandela in a way where I was like looking at the planet and I'm like, oh my God, Baja moved. Oh my God, Mexico moved. Oh my God. I was getting bored of that. And then all of a sudden I started seeing mud fossils and then electric universe. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. And so there's a lot to be learned in this. What do you think?
Wait, I missed that. What was that?
No, I was just saying, like, in all, like, it's a pretty big subject, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know about this subject and all. And I was just wondering what you were thinking about it, because you said you knew a little bit about it.
Well, I don't know anything about it, but I think it's a cool topic for you to handle on, because nobody's really, mentioning about it, right?
Yeah. So I'll just give you guys a little scoop. What I'm zooming in on right now is called Upheaval Dome. And when I first saw this, because what I do is I scan Arizona all the time, and I ended up here. I'm like, what is that? And my first instinct was, oh, that's a meteorite impact. But I'm like, no, wait, because it's level everywhere. You can see it's flat everywhere like a disc, you know? I'm like, all the soil's distributed evenly. And then you can see that there's like some type of vortex in the middle going around. And then I started looking into it more, and then I'm looking at all these canals, and I'm like, in all these canyons, I'm like, this is impossible for water. Like, we got layers and layers of canyons upon canyons. I'm like, I've never seen this before. This whole area to me is Mandela, you know, but it's not clinging on to people. Like, look at this area right here. It looks like electricity. And,
oh, God.
And in this series I'm putting out, you're going to see how it looks like. You're going to see it's going to make you laugh and go scratch your head and be like, what is this? You know, like, it blew my mind away. You guys will be excited. You can look into yourself. It's not even stuff I'm discovering. It's just, it's already out there. It's already out there. They already talked about all this. So
that's pretty amazing. What else have you found on the maps? What weird oddities have you found?
Well,
I like that.
Oh, that's so funny you just said that, man. This guy has found like pretty much everything on planet Earth.
Yeah. I just as I was waiting for you guys, because I was sitting there on chat waiting, and I turned Africa like this, and I'm like, oh my God, it looks just like Australia.
Oh my God, yes it does. What?
With New Zealand used to be right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I pointed that out earlier. That's so weird.
Watch this. You just move over. Look, little Africa, big Africa, big Australia, little Australia. They look.
You know what though?
They look similar.
You can see a face in that too. Look at that. It's got like a face with a horn and an eye right there too.
I've always saw this as a horse drinking down, bowing its head to drink water.
Look at, with the eye right there, the nose, the mouth. That's crazy looking.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on for hours of things I've found, and like, but I mean, I'm on to like chasing Texas and California next, and just moving on up.
I know those coastlines have got to be really hard.
Kira, I know you're a big fan of Lone Eagle. I know you probably have some questions too.
Yes, Lone Eagle, I say we all go on a vacation with you and mark out these maps.
There's so much to mark out. I mean, I was talking Kira on Facebook, and I asked her about this place near Toronto, and it looked just like Arizona. I'm like, have you ever seen this before? And she's like, never. And
no, and it's one of the places to go now. And I think they said it was made in '97. I think it was. And I go to Toronto all the time for acting and voiceovers, and it never there. Never. And when he showed me, I literally just was like, is this Photoshop? What am I looking at? No, brand new to me.
Yeah, I forget the name of the place. I want to show people, but I forgot the name. Hold on. Oh yeah, Cheltenham.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys quickly.
You want me to present?
People, they go there to do photo shoots, and I've never been there before, and it's like a popular place to shoot models and stuff. You know, bang bang.
Now, everybody just watch this. You'll notice this is the only place in Ontario so far that I could see, but right here, it's all forest. It's all forest. This is Ontario. I've been through here before a lot. Believe me, I would have stopped by here. I love Red Rock. And boom, it's just like Arizona.
It is. It looks like Arizona, totally.
What?
Let me put some pictures on. Hold on. This is Ontario. Oh my Lord, that looks sad. That looks like.
And that's where I am. I'm in Ontario.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But look at that. I've never seen this in Ontario. This is Arizona stuff. This is like stuff. This is a sad shot, though. That looks like death.
Did you know people are growing palm trees in Ireland?
No.
Yeah, I covered that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I think you covered that.
Yeah.
You covered that, Lone Eagle. Yeah.
Well, there's palm trees all over the world now. Like, they're just in all kinds of places, and
down in Georgia, and we have palm trees in mainly southern Georgia because it's just like backwards Florida, you know.
Yeah, nothing surprises me anymore. Like, I'm very shocked at any Mandelas anymore. I'm just like, can we just get this over with? You know,
it's not gonna end. It's gonna keep going as long as you ascend. If this is your time to ascend, you will see more and more and more.
Yeah, and it's hard to deny that because like you just keep thinking positive, and like you'll see certain people saying bad things are happening while others are saying good, and you can't have like just one thing happening. Like everybody's experiencing different things, and it's all in your energy and what you carried and what you did for yourself, I believe, you know, and I totally believe in that stuff. What's going on here? Screen is buffering. I don't see anything.
I was going to say, you know, I'm actually traveling right now, but I know that there's some people in the chat that probably have some questions for Lone. But you know, hey, Lone and I, we were talking a little while ago, and he's actually doing. I don't want to speak for you, Lone, but I know that you're doing like some Facebook Live stuff now, kind of expanding your horizons, and you probably should make a mention of that as well, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to expand. Well, reach out and touch people. You know what I mean? Because like everybody's talking to me on Facebook and sending me messages on Gmail, and I'm not even like responding to people because like I just isolated myself for a while, you know, and I feel that we need to push a positive message more. I'm seeing like this last week or two, just a lot of weird stuff going on in the social media. So I'm like, man, I got to reach out more and just sitting there and hitting record on my phone while I'm waiting for a delivery. You know, I'm like, I could talk on Facebook, you know, make the community tighter. You know what I mean? Talk up there. And it was easy to. I had a lot of fun doing that, but thanks for bringing it up for sure. So I'm going to be doing something with that. I don't know yet, but I do like Facebook. I do see like it's just as poisonous as YouTube. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, Facebook is bad. It's bad on both ends, and it's really good.
You can make it good. Too. You know, there's good, but you know the thing is that you know there's also a lot of bad. But the thing is that we're here to try to make a good resource that's known to a lot of people a little bit better. And I think that definitely, if you're going through something that is a little bit challenging, which look, you know, for all of us that are just awakening, you know, this is definitely these are the people that you should be resonating with. I mean, you know, to understand exactly what's happening, you know, you don't have to be living in fear. You know, here's one thing that got me, you know, is that you have a community of people that, although everything that you're experiencing may not resonate with everyone else, you know that we're all going through the same thing. And one thing that Lone Eagle had said, which actually really resonates with me, is that you're not alone. And that's the big key, is that, you know, you actually have a community. And I appreciate that. That was like huge for me.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You're not alone. And it's tough for people who are actually alone in their home and they live by themselves and they actually are alone. And it's hard to pass that one through. So I really like to talk about collective consciousness. I think I'm saying that right, but there's a layer that we all touch, right?
Yes.
And it's unexplainable, but it isn't. You just have to look at your environment, the people around you. You could feel pain when you're in one room and not notice that your neighbor is crying, and you're like, man, I feel that, but you may not know she's crying because you don't see it. But you know, that's like empath feelings, but we don't have to go there. But there's layers that we connect, you know, and there's no denying it. And that's what I mean by we're not alone. Just keep thinking positive stuff. Been hearing some positive news around the world lately, along with bad stuff. You're always going to get both, you know, so it's on you. It's on you to decide what you want to focus on. You want to focus on negative stuff, go right ahead, but you're going to age fast. You're going to be unhealthy. It's not going to be good for anything around you. But recognize it. But you don't have to take heed and battle it every day. You know, like there's some people who spend a lot of time on the negative. I'm like, man, just focus on love. That's what, if we're going to work collectively, that's how you do it. I believe that somewhere around 2012, even before that, maybe around 2000, even maybe 1970, 80s, people started praying all together. And they said, we're going to change the world soon. Let's start praying. And they started doing it way before we even saw any of this, you know? So I believe in that too. But
well, you know, out of all the things you've covered, and you've covered a gamut of things, I mean, you really kind of, you've covered the gamut. Obviously, you're the continental shift guy. You've gone into tech before it's time. You've done a number of things, Lone. Out of all the, you know, the channels that I've resonated with, and if anyone doesn't know me, you know, I'd be surprised. But Lone is definitely one of the top. And if you haven't, you know, listened to his message, you certainly want to do that. and I'm just going to say that I'm just going to promote the heck out of him because this is, you know, he's a great friend of mine. I love this guy, and he actually delivers, you know, some real truth and some things that, you know, you guys really should adhere to. You know, I'm going to say that, you know, he's doing a lot of good for the community. There's been a lot of division lately, and I'll tell you, you know, on his channel, there's no division. It's all love. If you haven't been there, you should chime on in. We'd love to have you over there too, man. And ladies.
Yeah, I'm gonna share his channel in the chat so people can go to it and see it.
Thank you for all those kind words, by the way. That was magnificent. Thank you, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you and everybody else that chimes in, just clicks on and everything, subscribes. Even those that hit the thumbs down, showing them love, you know. So thank you very much. That was very kind of you.
Okay, you guys see that? That's Lone Eagle's channel. I also reference his channel among many other channels who've been on, and we know they're good channels. I try to incorporate them in the with every video that's uploaded. In other words, you'll see it in the description, and also you'll find my my Google Drive, which also has the handwritten Bible. I wrote 24 books out of the New Testament that are there free for the public. Anyone can view it, and you can download it, share with your friends, whatever. It is the King James. Yet, but Lone Eagle is listed on there as well.
Awesome.
The best part about Lone that I'll tell you, you know, he talks about a lot of things that are really kind of sensitive to a lot of people. He exposes a lot of things that we aren't used to. But man, the things that he does, I'm telling you, it will hit you from left field. This guy, he's learning how to play a flute, and so learning to play a flute with Lone, I'm waiting to see that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I just need that thing to arrive, man. Believe me, I'm waiting.
I'm waiting to see these things that he does, and his approach to different topics that you know, are certainly very sensitive, are absolutely hysterical. And if you need to go ahead and have some enlightening and a little bit of humor to some things that may be challenging for you, this is definitely a direction you want to go. And I know that I'm bolstering this guy, Lone Eagle, for, you know, for all it's worth, but, you know, it's definitely somebody that you want to go ahead and tie yourself into. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a good time. He's a great person, man, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss it.
Yep. And also he's got a Facebook Live too that's going to be approaching. So if you're not tied into him on Facebook, you got to do that as well.
That's awesome, man. So I mean, that's good. We need more channels getting out there, getting the word out as much as possible, because there are channels that come up and then they die out. They come up, you know, but we have to have, you know, consistency. And Lone Eagle has been around a lot longer than I have. Lone Eagle, you were one of the people that woke me up, I tell you. Thank you, brother.
Cool, thank you. That's great to hear. Yeah, we all wake each other up. Like, I mean, Life Matrix woke me up. Photo Helix woke me up. Like, it's a combination. And here's the funny thing about this community is that even though there's a lot of people that don't like each other, they've still helped us. You know what I mean? It's an incredible thing to see and to witness. That's an important thing to at least. You don't have to accept it, but at least see it. See it. You know what I mean? I see those that are trying to cause trouble, maybe, or not even, just they're having their own problems, and they wear it on their collar when they're making videos, and it's unfortunate, but that's pain. That's pain, and it all comes together. It all comes together, and I'm like, man, we all need some love, man. We're all in pain. This world did a number on everybody. No one escaped that pain whatsoever. But yeah, thank you very much for that. That was cool. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's overwhelming sometimes. I get a lot of emails and personal stories and people telling me like how grateful they are to find this channel, and I'm just like, wow, it's so powerful to hear these words from people, and I'm not used to that. I'm just totally not used to that. So,
well, you know, when your first awakening, you know, you want to grasp onto something that's going to resonate with you. And I'll be honest with you, you know, there's a few people that when I first started searching, yeah, they cued me in, sure, But you know what? Then it's at that point in time, it's like, okay, what resonates with me? What's going to make me, you know, okay with what's going on? And when I stumbled across your channel, man, I'll tell you, my whole, you know, thought process on this Mandela effect, definitely, it completely shifted. And I've been growing with you, man, you know, and I've been, you know, kind of following suit with what you're doing, because I'm seeing the community that is following you, you know, so righteously, and the love that surrounds you, man. That's the community that I certainly want to embrace. And I'll tell you, Brian has also got the same, you know, the same effect on a lot of people, you know. And I think that we need to be more attuned with each other. That we're all going through the same things. We may not be on the same, you know, realities as far as, you know, experiencing things at the same time, but we know that it's happening. So that being said, man, you've actually turned this community into something pretty special, man. And I have to say, you know, I'm very, very humbled to be your friend. I love you, man. And I think that everything you're doing is top notch, and it's so sincere. And you know, I enjoy everything you do, bro.
Well, again, thank you.
I
can't see my face, but I'm like smiling ear to ear.
I can feel the man love in here, you know.
The dude love.
The bromance, right?
Guys, we have a question from Glow. Glow says, I traced Maine. Noticed the other day it moved way out of my trace.
Okay.
Can you ask Lone if he traced Maine already? Did you get to trace Maine?
No, I haven't. I've just started Texas. Haven't traced Maine, but there's definitely a lot of movement around Maine now. Glow, are you just tracing the grid? I hope you're just tracing the grid. Don't trace the yellow line.
Oh, don't trace the yellow line?
Just stay as close to the yellow line as you can, because if you start tracing that yellow line, you're going to get connected to this world. That's the trick. So let me look in, just looking in chat.
Something else to add to your list there, huh?
Yeah, there's 50. How many states? 50. So I chose 5. I'm doing California, Texas, Oregon, Florida, and Michigan.
Now, I know that Kiera is also another one of our special guests here. She's got a lot of insight. She actually works with Laszlo. Laszlo was one of the first people that I've ever was introduced to with the Mandela effect. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who actually came first. You know, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. But you know, I think that she was probably, you know, the introducer to a lot of this stuff, because she's probably right there in line with Laszlo. You know, Kiera, you know, you are certainly, you know, the woman behind the curtain. You know, that actually had you have a lot of insight, more than most people know. So you would be like right there along the same lines as Lone, going through all this kind of stuff. I mean, you're more of like, you know, you're on a different level. But you know, it's so cool that all of us have our own fortes of what we're looking for. You know what I mean? So I find that so spectacular that we all have our own specialties and what we're looking for. I'm a history guy. I'm an art guy. You know, I know a little bit about a lot of different things. So, you know, I could definitely, you know, I could find a lot of things when I'm looking for them, but a lot of people wouldn't know them simply because the level of you know, knowledge that I had of that particular subject of my study. So I wouldn't want to go too deep into them. But you, my dear, you know, you've been around since, like, you know, experiencing
71. Since 71.
Yes, there you go. Okay, thank God. Thank God you said that. I didn't want to go ahead and say anything. But, you know, you've been around for a little bit like me. And, you know, but you're kind of the authority on this. And, you know, the woman behind the scenes, the woman behind the curtain pulling a lot of the cords of, you know, what people aren't really seeing. You have a lot of knowledge of some of the things that a lot of people haven't seen, and giving a lot of credence to people that you've been working with. But yet you're the one that's digging up all the information on some of the special things that a lot of people haven't quite experienced yet. I mean, are there any things that you've seen as of late that would actually blow our minds, or that perhaps that could coincide with what?
There's a lot of animals. There's prehistoric animals that I know were extinct. I keep myself and one of my researchers, Eric Michael, we categorize animals, and he deals with a lot of the big cats, and I deal with bats and other mammals, like mammals of the sea, especially. And we see new ones popping up, and it's pretty interesting because the amount of whales there are now, there never was. I came from a reality where the majority of whales were extinct or nearing extinction, and now there's a bunch of new ones. And we keep track of these critters, and that's why sometimes I'll find a new one and I'll be like, hey, Laszlo, guess what I found? And we know that, hey, there wasn't a finback and there wasn't a Valeska and things like that. And these creatures are so odd looking, and they're very prehistoric. And this prehistoric eel that just popped up, the dinosaur eel, they literally are so prehistoric and so creepy and have such weird fins to them. Sorry, my parrot just landed on my rat cage. I look over, my parrot's fighting with my rat. I'm like, you don't want to be KFC, get the hell off that cage.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen before your eyes.
Hang on, let's get some shake and bake over there. Okay, so anyways, bottom line is we are keeping categorizations of these categories, of these animals. I'll be right back. And if we don't keep track of it, then we look crazy. But we literally are keeping track, and it's like, whoa, a new big cat and giant jaguars and all these creatures and things that are actually related to the saber-toothed tiger that are huge. And they were not there even last month. And we know this because we are literally looking up giant animals and different cats and things. And some of the new bats
Kira,
alone. Ugh.
Kira, would you say that we're devolving in that sense? I mean, because I've heard some theories that we're actually moving back to Pangea. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and there's new cracks. I think it happened in, where was it, Africa recently. There's new cracks in the foundation of Earth. Let's put it that way. And these are miles long. They're like 600 miles long. And I feel like, yes, it is in a sense that some of us that are speaking right now are literally from a reality where these animals were extinct and now they're back, technically. We've just moved to where they are supposed to be. They're almost in extinction, or they are abundant. And I mean, the Sangia antelope, they said there was like millions of them, and now there's only like, I think it said 500,000 left. And it's like 500,000. And I know my critters, and that thing did not exist for me until 3 years ago.
Now, Lone, you said you've been mentioning this for a long time, which is the electric universe, the electric planet. You showed some evidence of that. You had some different ideas of it to begin with. That kind of like, the role in electric universe is becoming like the hot topic nowadays. Is that leading to Pangea?
Here, hold on. The electric universe leading to Pangea. I mean, I think the electromagnetic universe creates Pangea. I don't think it leads to it. I don't even know if we're going to Pangea, because in my mind here, let me take off this grid because this is annoying. But here's the thing. There's this new article, and we covered it on the live stream with Africa. Africa's splitting up, going right down the middle. It's on the news. They were talking about it. It's turning into 3 pieces. Now, if we're turning into Pangea, why are places breaking up? Now, they're breaking up because they're going to join somewhere else. They're going to float over here and join up. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me that places are breaking up. I look at places like Brazil or South America, and I watch this. Watch this. Okay. Just give me a moment. See all that pink? I mean, these are large rivers. They're not tiny rivers. It's starting to split up. the South America. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the end result is, but this is the opposite of what Pangea is. You know what I mean? I was on board for a while, but I'm seeing Mexico stretch out now, like in a weird way. Look, South America's underneath North America. Look at that. You guys see that? But I don't know. I don't know about Pangea. I don't know. I'm still questioning that.
And you know, who's the other guy that you know, it slips my mind, but he was also the your counterpart of Continental Shift.
Noble D.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nobleness D. I haven't heard from him for a long time. I don't know if you guys have either, but he's kind of gone, you know, AWOL, which is kind of weird. I know a lot of theories that you initially had were, you know, obviously because what you were looking at and what you had mapped out, but it proved to be just the opposite. See, a lot of the things that I remember. Let's take a look here. Can you zoom in on Ecuador?
Sure can. Right there.
Right, Ecuador. That's exactly my point. You guys, that's where the... This is funny because it's very weird. It's a little glob right there on the, you know, in South America. It was never there. It was always in Central America, as far as I knew. I've been to Costa Rica, and I remember that it was protected by, you know, Guatemala and El Salvador, and it was one of those countries that just relied on the militaries to protect it. It was one of those things. But the very tail end, it was Ecuador, just beyond Panama, and now it's a little blob over there in South America. That never was. And that's weird. That's weird to see that. And it's good to hear that actually resonate, because Ecuador, if you don't know, guys, that was actually where the equator was. And you can see that that's where the new equator is. Yeah. I wanted to find out if that resonates with anyone else there in the if that resonates with anyone else there in the chat. And there's Ricardo.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
If anyone doesn't know Ricardo, he's a good friend of mine as well. Ricardo is amazing. He actually has, he pops in and out. He's got a lot of good information, guys. Lone, do you know Ricardo?
I don't know him, but I know of him.
Okay, good. He just popped into the chat. To continue on with what I was saying here, is that Ecuador was never where it is now. It's now like some kind of glob in South America. You remember that too, Lone?
Oh, yeah. I first brought this up a long time ago, and I got a lot of flack from it because it's just easy to pick apart. They're like, Lone, look where the equator is. That's why they call it Ecuador. What are you losing your mind? I'm like, listen, you see the Tropic of Cancer right now where it is, running and touching Cuba? That's where the equator used to be. It used to be right around there. And you know, I have the same. I just never knew for 100%, but I knew for 100% that the equator used to run right through Mexico, like right where the Tropic of Cancer is. But I'm like, okay, I do remember Ecuador, so that must have been up here. You know what I mean? So
you made a really relevant point, which I thought was like really intriguing. Was of the islands that are now. Hey, Ricardo, hit me, bud.
I thought I was on. Okay, how do I? Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. I just pack of cigarettes. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
You hit a point here, Lone, with the islands that are off in the Pacific compared to the Atlantic. You know, you would hear of a lot of different islands, like, you know, especially like the Hawaiian Islands. But you mentioned something earlier that there's another island out there in the Pacific. Oh, hey, Ricardo, there's a lot of noise, bud.
No, that can't be. I'm not. I'm just walking.
Okay,
just let me see.
Hit me for 1 sec.
Help feedback call.
I'm hearing you good though. There's no problem.
And how many people are going to go see Avengers tomorrow? Show of hands.
Brian, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
All right, good. There's a lot less noise. That being said, is that you were saying something about the islands out there in Atlantic. There was no islands out in the Atlantic.
Yeah. So this is what I was saying before. I'm like, we all take vacations in the past. I was like, this rolls off our tongue easily. I'm going to go to the Pacific Islands, right? Because you would be like, I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Easter Island. Oh, most people didn't go there, but when you said you're going to the Atlantic Islands, you didn't say the Atlantic Islands. You said, I'm going to Bermuda. I'm going to the Caribbeans or the Caribbeans. Right. You know, I'm going to the Bahamas. But you never said I'm going to the Atlantic Islands. I can't even say. I have to prepare myself when I say Atlantic Islands. I'd like take a deep breath and like you say it properly. When I say Pacific, it just rolls off the tongue easily. It's another way. There's a new language now out there. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah. But,
exactly.
But look at here. Like I just stopped here right now. All these islands are brand new. You know what I mean? All of them, every single one. But some of them I've heard of before, which is weird. The Canary Islands. I'm like, I've heard of that. Or have I just heard of the Canary? You know what I mean? They're all over the Atlantic now. We're going to see some shite hit the ceiling, guys. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And, one thing that gets me is that, you guys read I don't know if you guys have actually read the book 1984.
Yes.
A lot of you guys probably have. A lot of the continents that they discussed in 1984, they were simply fictional. At least in my reality, they were. You had Oceania, which is, absolutely fictional. That was just one of the continents that didn't exist. But now apparently it does. Hey, by the way, Lord, is there a way for you to pull up Oceania and just so I can kind of see where Oceania is?
Oceania?
Yeah, Oceania. I'd like to find out exactly where that is because I want to say it's like right around Australia, if I'm not mistaken. I know that Tasmania was actually once there before. That has apparently disappeared.
It brought me to Ottawa.
Oh, did it? Oh, is that where it is? Is that where it is now?
Well, here's the thing. You're asking me to bring you to a fictitious place. I'm like, okay. Here, let me
Oceania. Right, yeah. Oceania. Apparently, well, I don't know if it's changed now. If it has, that's great. That's fine. But,
no, but because in that book we talk about East Asia, Oceania, and Eurasia, and someone brought this up to me. I made a video on it last year. I'm like, excuse me, those are fictional names. Like those are 1984 names. I remember reading the book. I have the book on my shelf. I've read it 3 times. I read it when I was in Toronto. I got stranded out there for a night. So when this person said,
"You could have stayed at my house."
Oh, this was a long time ago.
You still could have stayed at my house.
Yeah. But yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, we're living in a cartoon. That's when I knew something was up, man. I was like, Eurasia, are you serious? What's going on? You got all silent.
What's that little island below Cuba?
You got all silent.
Jamaica?
That's Jamaica.
Okay.
For now.
Where's that island that everyone's talking about, Tsunami? It's called Barbuda.
Barbuda or something like that.
Barbuda. Hey, Tom. What's up?
Hey, how's it going tonight?
Good, and you?
Good, doing good, man.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing, Corey?
Good.
So everybody doing good tonight?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear.
And the rest of you guys are my other Avengers.
So why are you pushing this Avengers thing so much? What's going on with that? What's up with that? Why are you dressed like an Avenger? What's going on?
It's to prepare for the movie. I'm going to go watch the movie tomorrow in 3D.
Earlier, I told him that he needed a Captain Canuck suit because there was 3 Canadians and only 2 Americans in the room.
Lord. Oh, Lord.
I like that. That "You Are Not Alone" fits this theme for tonight. Really, it does.
Every night.
We're seeking validation. And if anyone's not seeking validation, it's like, who in the heck are you? You know? So Regato's just joined us. Regato, what's on your mind, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much. I'm just listening. Just having my ears up.
Having a cigarette.
I had a real strange occurrence happen to me a couple days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I have this friend, and he was in foster care with me since we were about 4 years old. So we grew up till we were in the same home till about 13, 14, so it was about 10 years, first 10 years. And I left the foster home around 13, 14 and went to a bunch of different other ones, and that's where we got separated. We didn't speak or see or hear anything from each other till last year. And I had this thought that I should contact him, and I called his family, and they didn't know who he was. His sister didn't know who he was, and she didn't even know who I was. And I told you have a brother. His name is Jonathan. Well, she hung up. She didn't call me back. And then some other lady that used to work there decides to message me, who I've never really associated with. And she's like, hey, Jonathan is such and such, and he was missing, wanting to talk to you. And I thought, well, how strange, because I had just... So then she goes on and says, I haven't seen him since 9/11. I'm like, what does that mean? Why would you say that, right? So then out of the blue, just about a month ago, he shows up, right? He lives in another state, and he shows up here in California. And I was like, what are you doing here? And he said, well, I went to go visit the orphanage. Well, but I'm like, but most of the people that are there are dead. They're not even alive anymore. And he's like, oh, I know. I flew out here to go visit them, and I thought I'd stop by and see you. I was like, well, I live 2 hours of traffic through LA. I live all the way in Orange County. Are you going to fly here and fly to LX, drive down? He's like, yeah, okay. So he goes to visit the orphanage in LA. Then he comes down to see me. Talks to me for about 2 hours. And then at the end of the talk, all I got out of it from him was, he says, maybe we just don't have any free will. So I'm like, oh, okay. I know where this is going. He goes home. I don't hear from him. And then last night at about 3 a.m, he called me. And he starts talking like super, like, just like a car salesman. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like car salesman? And he starts off like he's a friend of him. I mean, first of all, what are you doing calling me at 3 a.m? Okay. But I just was listening to him, and he starts talking about his car, this car that he got. It's a Volkswagen. It's worth a lot of money. I guess it's worth over, I don't know, 7,000-8,000 grand, right? And he says, well, I had to sacrifice something to get this. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about anything to him at this point. I'm just waking up at 3 a.m. I'm just listening to him. And so he eased over from that to, what do you want? Like this car that I have, it's so great, it's wonderful, but I had to make a sacrifice to get it. What do you want in this world that you would be willing to give in? And I said, give in? What do you mean give in? And he said, well, sell out. So I'm like, sell out to what? And he's like, well, you need to figure out what it is. He kept cutting me off too. He's calling me by my name, Regato. That's not how Jonathan called me. He called me by my name, Rigo. That's what was given to me from him. So then he goes on, and he eventually gets to the point where he says, if you don't make a sacrifice, then you have to choose which side you're on. Everybody inevitably will have to choose. So I'm just like, what is this going? What is this? What causes him to call me at 3 a.m. and start getting into this? But it was like a car salesman where he was smoothing things over. And I said, is he really going to go there? I mean, is this really the conversation I'm having with him? Is this really is he really going on to this sellout soul? Is he going to go there? And I played along with him, and that's exactly where he went. And so at the end I said, well, I'm not going to, there's nothing in this world I want. I just want to die. I mean, I don't want anything from here that I would be going to sell out or sacrifice anything. I'm not going to do anything like that. And so he went on, but the main thing is he kept telling me how wonderful it was and how great it is that he got this car and that he got all this extra money. And he wouldn't say where he got it from, but he said, there's a way that you do these things and everybody knows about it and you get cut in on it. And he just kept speaking to me in parables and subliminal messages. So I finally got off the phone with him, but I thought, how strange, right?
Is everybody here?
Oh yeah, we're here. No, you were being tested, and thankfully you didn't fail, if you know what I'm saying, because that is not freaking good.
What's this guy wanting to do? Sign up for Satan's crew or something?
He wouldn't go there. See, I tried to push it there. I tried to act like I was, yeah, well, that's great. And it went from, you know, this wonderful car that he got and how much joy he got from having it to what do you personally want in this world that you would give anything for, that you would be willing to sacrifice for, that you would be willing to sell out for? And I said, nothing. And then that's where the conversation went downhill. Because what is my best friend from my childhood doing, calling me at 3 a.m, acting like he's like an agent of the devil, trying to have me sign over on something? He acted like if I had just accepted it then on the spot, whatever I asked him for or whatever I said I wanted, it somehow would have came true. But I rejected the whole thing. But of course I slept on it because I'm thinking like, well, he was saying how much you know, we grew up together, he cared a lot about me, but all of that was a bunch of lies just to get to the main reason that he would even be up. And listen, he lives in another state. What is this state? He lives in oh gosh, what is that state called? Is Idaho. He lives in Idaho. So there's a time difference. So it's 3 a.m. my time. So it's like, you know what I mean? I can't figure out what would urge him. Why not just call and say, hey, buddy, I haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing? I miss you. How's your family? What are you doing now? Where are you working? Why does it have to go straight to that? Choose a side, sell out. You could get all these things.
You know,
Why?
I would have said was, you know, I would say, what a profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul. You know?
That's right.
I mean, that's like, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous because, you know, you want something, but once you have it, you're like, my God, so what? You know, that's the whole deceptive thing about it.
That's ludicrous. Why would you sell out for a Volkswagen? That drives me nuts. But see, it wasn't just the Volkswagen. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the logo's changed, right?
He was going into the system. He was starting to go in on the system, but subliminally talking to me about how you can do this whole thing or whatever, sell out this thing, and when you go and apply for something for this government, it comes to you in a gift basket, is like his words, and you'll get not just what you know, a social security check. I mean, he told me that they're getting $3 to $4 grand a month, and everything's fine. It was all over the place, but it was like subliminal. Like he couldn't just come out and say it. I give him props though. He comes out and says it. Some people don't have that free will, is what he said. I can't. And I said, yeah, I know. I already know. But I didn't go straight for it because I feel like if I talk to him and just open out, like I had to talk to him like he was talking to me, in other words. You know what I mean? I couldn't go out and say, you want me to sell my soul to the devil in order to receive something in this world. I couldn't do that. I had to just say, well, I don't want anything in this world. I'd rather just leave.
So
that's the thing with the testing. That's the thing with the testing is people don't understand. It's not about material things. It's not about the new greatest stupid phone. It's about love and compassion. It's not about how much is in your wallet either, because you can't take it with you to the grave. And these people that are selling themselves out to like the Illuminati and all this crap, I have a friend who's in it and regrets it terribly.
Yeah, it seems like they can't.
He said he doesn't have a free will, and I'll tell you why. He knows he doesn't have a free will because he's probably possessed, and that's what it is, you know.
He's a recruiter.
I mean, what a fucking asshole that when you talk about dealing with the devil, it's like you really would go get my childhood friend to come back and like you had to go there. It couldn't be just like somebody off the street or a current. You got to go way back into the deepest connections and have them try and convince you to sign over.
It's probably not really him. got to remember, he admitted he had no free will, so it seems like he's possessed. So, you know, it's the enemy just trying to pull his strings and he figured he used him to try to get to you because you have that connection, childhood. So that was just an assignment from the enemy to try to rope you into some garbage. That's all.
It's overwhelming. Smart though. I mean, his voice changed at the first part of the first half an hour. I thought it was something electrical, but his voice went deep for a few split seconds, and then back to like it was digitalized or something, like some sort of voice recognition technology.
It sounds like it. It sounds. Whoops! Don't fight. It's okay, babies.
It sounds like he's tone dead.
Unbelievable that people would do something like that, you know.
But
how am I supposed to feel?
I wouldn't take it personally. Seriously, he's possessed by the enemy, and you know, he admitted he had no free will. That's just a clue, and so don't take it personally. The enemy was just trying to get at you. That's all.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, like Lone Eagle was saying, don't give the negative the energy because they thrive on it.
Don't feed it. Just forgive him, man. He knows not what he does. Just forgive him, man. Move on.
Yeah, I just I can't get deep into that stuff when I go, and I guess I probably should, but I was talking to Zeph about gang stalking on last week, and when we got off the phone after the interview, he was talking about how he basically how he had gone through the same thing where he had friends. After he figured out the whole thing, he had friends that were like trying to get him to turn, but speaking just like that guy spoke to me. You know what I mean? It was just classical, right on time. But it was scary though, because it was like when he first started picking off, I first thought, well, what a good, he's an old friend. I'm glad, relieved to hear from him. But as he was easing the conversation, that's when I started to like, when he started to go to that, what do you want? What would you sell out for? And then when I would, then I was like, okay, another one. And if it isn't already the whole world, it's got to be your best friends and childhood friends. And thank God I still have my sister.
Really? Is she affected too?
Yeah, she can see, and I don't doubt her because of the fact that we're half siblings. I know that everybody else is separated, so it would be strange if we both could see, but see, we never lived with each other. We've been separated by foster care for 15-something years, and half siblings, so it's like we're already separated, so that's half the equation. You have to be separated from someone they cannot both see. It doesn't really happen like that. You don't have too many people that are like, yeah, my mom sees, my cousin sees, my brother sees, we're all scared about this. No, it's like you're surrounded by people that can't see, and if they can see, then they're half the world away from you.
I'm kind of curious, Regatta, what is your zodiac sign, if you don't mind me asking?
I really don't know how that goes. I believe it's a Virgo. It's from August. And
okay.
I mean, I don't even get into that stuff anymore because that's still a form of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It's just like certain signs, like such as water signs, they tend to be a little bit like more on the up and up, like in the psychic area, I guess. Like they just sense things better. I was just wondering if you were like a water sign or something.
Well, my mom always told me that my name, she chose it because it meant, and I forget if it's in Italian. I think it is. Yeah, it means ships between mid-waters. I never knew what the hell that even meant. Because half the time I thought my mom was high off heroin or something.
Oh, we got Bluebeard in the chat. Hey, Bluebeard. So we had a comment from Mr. Nice Guy, and it's funny that the word devil is D in front of evil and live is evil reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good.
There's a lot of that.
Yep, good in God, yep.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of you guys. We're probably going to go off in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we live in a crazy upside-down world. It's like a mirror world, it seems. Go ahead.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to be on Paul's show tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yes. Guys, pray for Tom. He's going live tomorrow on Paul's radio show in Alabama.
All right.
That'll be nice. In national radio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the topic's going to be faith-based reality.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. It's on AM band, so everybody should be able to hear it. Did he say what AM band it is? I forget.
It's I got to look at the frequency of the radio station. I know it's like 1300, something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys go to pick it up though. You probably can pick it up on internet radio though.
I kind of promised everyone I was going to share something with World War II changes. I'm trying to get with Harold right now, see if he'll share that with me. Has anyone noticed any other changes in history?
Not that I'm aware of.
How about bananas grow upside down?
Yeah, we did that
I just saw that last night. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yes,
I had to go out and buy a banana just to see.
What'd your girlfriend say about that?
She said it looked like an upside down thing.
Wiener.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Did she try to legitimize it, or?
No,
was she intrigued?
She knows. She doesn't remember how the trees look, but she's like, yeah, they don't grow upside down like that. But then again, it's like to them, it's like it's no big deal. It's like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
bananas.
Nothing really surprised me. It's all information, anyhow.
Yeah.
So you've seen one effect. You've seen them all. You know?
Yeah.
Never.
It never failed.
Hey guys, I got five dogs that are crossing their legs, so I better go.
All right.
I got to get them outside. And it was lovely chatting with everyone. So everybody, God bless and take care.
Thank you, Kiera.
Nice meeting you.
Guys, please check out Kiera's the Mandela Effect Researchers.
Cool.
That's her YouTube as well as her Facebook group. So again, play fair on her Facebook because everybody else is playing fair. So it's just a nice thing that everybody can actually go to. It's a very good community in there. And it's not just Christians. It's Christians, non-Christians, everybody coming together for love. It's really great Facebook. So thank you, Kiera. Thank you for coming on. All right.
All right.
And
you there, Brian?
What is it?
I said, are you there?
I'm here.
So who do we have on? Who's left?
Let's see. Me, you. We got Corey here. Corey was telling us about his mom and dad. Again, we need to pray for his mom and dad. They both have cancer. Everybody, it seems like, not just in our group, but abroad, everybody has some issues that they're dealing with right now. But I think it makes us stronger,
Yeah.
It's really like character building experiences that we're going through right now. And like, I don't know, it's strange though how things we see shifts not only in things but in people too,
Well, I mean, it's all fake. It's the only conclusion you can really draw from this. If you want to try to be logical, you have to consider the fact that it possibly has always been like this, but for whatever reason, you're seeing through it now. Because I could give you an example of traffic lights. I remember that changing and just going, no way. And then there was, that was years and years ago. That was when I was in high school. So that's what 10 years ago.
Hey,
I'm seeing changes.
I got talked about the traffic light because I remember, like you said, years ago. I remember I was looking at the traffic light one time and said, it's a good thing that the red light is on the bottom because that's closer for the driver to see than up top. So when it's red, that's more important to stop. But it was that I remember thinking through that in my mind at one time. I can remember that, and that's all I remember about the red light, you know, being on or yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's if you have any doubts in yourself, just know this: it's the motion of light is you're going green, you slow down yellow, you stop. You don't stop, slow, and then it's in reverse. But everything, see, the devil he's doing all these things in reverse to let you know it's him. That's why the bananas are sticking in reverse, the lights are reverse, everything's backwards.
That's a new one for me, man.
The upside down.
Yeah, I mean, people having upside down Christmas trees, upside down houses.
Yeah.
I saw the Pope in a photograph with an upside down cross. I've never seen that before.
What? No.
So, you know, I know what it is. I know who it is, and I just don't know my part in it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like the time I was in Long Beach and all the cars stopped and the light was green and nobody went and everybody was still. You know what I'm saying? And I just, for like could you imagine that on the motorcycle? And then I put the kickstand up because I'm just like, nobody's going to move. Nobody's going to honk. Nobody says nothing. And for about 30 seconds, just looking at people like, you know, out of I don't know. And then getting back on the bike and then seeing the light already going to yellow because nobody went. And then starting the bike up and then going that first 2 feet real slow. And then everybody following behind me real slow. And then boom, everybody takes off and passes me up. Did I have something to do with that? You know, is it just fucking with me? You know what I mean?
No, it's called the observer effect. No, it could definitely be that. That's really how this whole flipping reality works. It's on a quantum level. I mean, think about it. You know, they talk about the speed of light or radio waves. They travel X amount of miles per second. But in quantum entanglement, that's instantaneous. There is no time as far as distance. So that's like outside the default parameters. And same with time as well. It's retrocausality, as you call it. Even though it might be the past or the future, it's all connected right now and immediate, the ever-present now.
And wait a second. Hold on a second, Tom. I think you're onto something. Isn't that why, what's that saying? You like me right now? You like me? Maybe she's trying to say something about in the now, like right now.
Yeah, that's where reality's at. Our present now is ever-present. But thing is, we only experience it sequentially. But, you know, that's the reason why God's outside of our reality, because he experiences all the time. To him, everything that has happened, will happen, in our reference, is happening in God's now throughout eternal past and future. That's why God, you know, they always say God's omnipresent. He's in all places, right? Well, he's not only in all places, he's also all time, all the time. But see, we just get in these like little, we're like in a little shoebox, okay? We only see one little thing, but that's the amazing thing. But free will is the most interesting thing that God's given us, because we are outside of this whole reality as far as our consciousness. And that's the only thing that's really going to be eternal and lasting is our consciousness, our soul, our spirit. All this is just a stage setup for us to walk through.
I'm wondering, with these traffic lights changing, could that be the reason why people go through red lights?
No, they go through red lights because sometimes they just, you know, freaking
maybe
go to lunch.
Them.
They go to lunch. They go to lunch, man. That almost happened to me the other day, man. I was thinking about something and it just didn't register, you know?
Well, what they do up here to save money is sometimes they'll shut the lights off and they'll just make them flash red. And
I think
so
that's the
it just
coolest
means
way, man.
but you stop and you have to look and see and if you're the first one there, then you get the right to go. But because they do it so much, sometimes it plays tricks with your head. Like it could be a full red light, and you have to wait for the green. But you're so used to seeing the blinking lights that I've done it a few times where I'd start pulling out and almost get cut off because I'm like, oh crap, right? Like it's not flashing. So there's a drawback to it. It's one way or the other, of course. But I mean, like, it's retarded.
Yeah, that's definitely doable, you know.
But I mean, I got a small town here too, though. That wouldn't work in a big city or anything. But
but like I said, it's really interesting how everything just makes sense anymore. It really does. I mean, it all runs back to quantum mechanics. That's the true physics of the universe. And you know what's really amazing is you guys must have heard of the golden ratio, the divine proportions. You realize that's in everything in all creation, and they say that's a fingerprint of God, which is really amazing.
Right. Did anybody catch?
Sorry, guys. I got kicked out of the out of the community here. I have no idea why. I was actually in the middle of a conversation, and blam, they didn't want me to talk anymore.
Yeah, I figured something happened to you, man. Troy?
Hey, what's up, Ricardo? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I tried to call you before we got on today. I was gonna ask you to look up at the sun really quick, and I just observed it, and it was it wasn't burning bright, so it was.
Maybe it's time to change the light bulb up there.
Something happened. It was a different color.
Looks like they better get up there and do some maintenance on, change the 5 trillion watt or terawatt bulb or whatever they use to run it.
I remember like a month or two ago I tried to look up at it and it was blinding me, and today I got stuck in a stare at it, dead stare, and nothing. My eyes were perfectly fine. So I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like
the sun was flickering a couple months ago. Bulb was starting to go out. I guess they already fixed that problem. It's not flickering anymore, is it?
I guess so too.
Thank God for the maintenance spend. You know, we're without maintenance spend.
Absolutely. I get text messages from my maintenance department at my apartment whenever something is fixed. So thank goodness for that.
That's it, man.
I got news from Harold about this Mandela effect, this new one with World War II. And I kind of wanted to share it with Lone Eagle earlier. But anyway, an oil rig was destroyed in Santa Barbara. This is new. It wasn't Santa Barbara last time. Another sub attacked Fort Stevens, firing 17 shells instead of 16 before. A seaplane dropped 2 firebombs to try to cause a forest fire and failed. In the 90s, the Japanese pilot was made an honorary citizen of the town he attacked. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I always love new history reports.
So why would they make him in the 1990s? Why would they make him an honorary citizen of the town that he attacked? That doesn't make any sense.
That would be like the Jews building a Hitler statue or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, Corey, you are absolutely on point. You're right.
You know what they say? Life was like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, I guess so.
Find out what you find inside.
Well,
I can't wait till it changes when life will be a box of chocolates. That'll be a day.
Or there are no boxes of
man, dude, I'm so glad you said that, man. Me too.
But is there really going to be chocolates? If you don't open a box of chocolates, is there really chocolates inside?
Oh, we're going to Schrodinger's thing, are we?
I've never seen this in my life, guys.
It's Schrodinger's chocolates. That's what it is.
Guys,
the chocolates are there or not there at the same time.
Guys, we have chocolate flavor. What is in chocolate flavor? I had a chocolate flavored Easter bunny, chocolate bunny for Easter. Like, what the heck?
Those things are good.
I know it's chocolate flavored though, but it's not real chocolate, I guess.
Oh, they're trying to cut down on costs or maximize profits.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Lizette 102 made a comment on Isaiah 24, King James. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. It's kind of like what's going on.
Nice find. Hats off. That's a nice find, man.
Thanks
I like
for
that.
That's a good quote.
Pretty soon we'll have upside down theology, man. I'm looking forward to that too.
Well, I hope our wieners don't go upside down and they'll be peeing in our faces.
Didn't they mention something like that on that? They did like a spinoff on Signs in one of the scary movie videos. Remember that, where they put his thing on upside down?
I can't remember where I've seen that before. Yeah, but it was one of those funny movies.
He says, "Is that why I pee up instead?" Oh man!
Sure, like a
all right.
Like the fountain of youth. That's what it is.
Well, the kiddies are in bed, so we can talk about that stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they listen to the rebroadcast at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He forgot about that.
You better put a rating of PG-13 or something on it.
Yeah,
right. But you know what's really strange is that I know Teresa had something similar happen with her. She had something supernatural happen. She was in one room, and in the other room, a vase flew off the counter and hit the floor.
Yeah,
like
I heard about that.
Reason. When there's no, like in physics, you have an outside or external force acting on an object, then yes, the object can move. But in this case, there was no force in motion to cause that. So what did it? It had to be supernatural. I had a similar instance that same day. I felt her negative energy, I guess, that was going on. I had my overhead light in my kitchen is a big round disc. It's flat and it's made of glass. That thing shattered. It started like I heard a pop, and then it started cracking, like how thin ice cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it comes crashing down. I have pictures of it and stuff. It freaked me out, man. I was in here.
Wow. Same day as her vase?
Same day as the vase thing. So I wonder, I mean, you have to wonder sometimes if certain people are getting the certain signals and other people are not. So again, you can tune out those signals if in fact it is, by staying in the light, I feel. You
just take authority over the works of the enemy. Shut him down.
God will he will protect you if you ask. That's all you have to do is ask, You rely on his help.
That's right. Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's something though, but that same thing. I think in a strange way sometimes we're like connected to other people and
exactly
similar synchronicities. Yeah. Synchronicities.
Exactly. And what's really weird, I'll tell you this too, because this is really strange to me also. Melissa, you all know Melissa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something to do with cows. She was sending me pictures of cows, and that very same day, my kids were playing with cows out across the street in the pasture, and they were petting them and stuff. That's just so weird to me, And my kids live in a different state,
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, there was a synchronicity there with the cows, and then that, and I had Chick-fil-A came across my mind too, and it's so weird how this stuff works,
Yeah.
It does mean that there's that must be that thin layer of connection that we all have. It's like it's like this string that's interwoven with all of us, and and I believe it goes back to God. Honestly, it really does, deep down.
Well, even with when you see these ME changes, let's say you have a certain logo, like let's take J.C. Penney. When it used to have just a Y, then when it switched to EY, like everything that had that same information got flipped at the same time. Like in a sense, all that stuff was quantumly entangled. Even though J.C. Penney's throughout the world, not only throughout the world but throughout time, like back in the early whatever when they founded it, it all changed at the same moment because it's all entangled. You see what I'm saying? With quantum mechanics, we live in a three-dimensional time box, so we're at one place at one time. But in quantum mechanics, you got to understand that all time and all places are connected at the same moment, and that's the reason why that's what quantum entanglement is, and that's the way the universe works. That's like outside our universe. That's the reason why you have all this stuff with, probabilities, like the wave probabilities, like anything that can happen, could happen. That's a possibility. But right now, when we observe it, we're only walking one timeline until it gets re-examined and it shifts to another.
I've been kind of examining Murphy's Law to see if you can actually change it by thinking more positive. Maybe the Murphy's Law thing won't happen.
Now you're talking about faith-based reality. You're absolutely right. If you look at the placebos, the Rice experiment, you look at what miracles Jesus did, people praying, all these supernatural things. But you have to, with all these supernatural things, it started with somebody believing something and walking in that reality as if it's already real before it actually happened. And then that in turn causes it to happen. Like goals, natural goals. I will do this someday. And when you're really set and focused on it, actually, years down the road, you're doing what you've envisioned. That's like so true. It's very subtle, really. People think, oh, it's mind over matter. They're like, oh, that's new age. That's whacked out, But really, this perception of what you understand through faith or knowing, it's a very subtle thing. And, you could just, in other words, take every thought to captivity and obedience of Christ, because that's where it's at. So, what a man think of, that's so he is. In other words, you have a choice to determine you're a free will agent commissioned by God to be free will. You could choose anything, but you got to realize that anybody could crap on you, anything could go wrong, but you have the final choice, the final power to change it to go in the right direction, and then eventually things will shift around, or they will shift around immediately. That's how it works. It's like a feedback group between your own consciousness and reality. Reality is facts. Your five senses tell you this and that and this. But then if you just say, well, no, I'm going to walk by faith, not by my five senses, then you start believing, praying, and believe that you have it. Then Jesus says you'll have it. And then soon enough, reality will start lining up with that. But
I'm with you 100% on that one, Tom.
That's exactly what I'm going to talk on Paul's show tomorrow, because there is such a truth in that. The thing is, for example, when you tell somebody about ME and they see one thing changing, they go, wow, and then they just never dig into it. They know it's changed, but they don't dig into it. They don't assume reality could be changed or the Bible's changing. They just think of that one thing and they see the light, but they just kind of don't pursue it. That's the same thing with this reality, the faith-based reality. If you really meditate, think about it, and just examine it and study it, you'll find that that's how everything works, because it's that observer effect. You know, this is what I got. If you observe something, if you observe something in your mind, or you're observing something without looking at it physically, then you're causing a wave of collapse, that probability to come into play, and that's what'll happen. Goals or whatever you want to do, but you can either observe it through your 5 senses, or you can observe it through your mind's imagination, or what the New Agers say, the pineal gland, or the third eye. Your mind's eye. They call it the mind's eye.
Yeah,
but it's actually faith.
Yeah, we didn't really get to hear from Corey tonight.
Yeah,
Corey. Thanks, Tom, for that. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're going to share that, because a lot of people right now.
Yeah, in fact, I got to go right now. But hey, guys, I love you guys. You guys are freaking awesome.
We love you too, Tom.
Love you too, Tom.
Good luck tomorrow. I'll be
tuned. Yeah, if you find out the radio station link to the live broadcast, if they don't get it on the radio, they can listen to the live web stream, from the station itself.
Well, I think you're gonna knock it out of the park there, buddy.
I'm really pumped up for this. I mean, it's what I've been studying the last couple months, and it's like I just, if you found a holy grail of something, the unification theory of all things, this has got to be it. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
All right, you guys. Have a good one, all right?
Good night, Tom.
You too, man. Night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Okay, I found out the radio.
Yeah. Okay.
The station is WRLA out of Columbus, and it's 1490 AM 1490. So if you have a chance tomorrow, between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock p.m., that's East Coast time. If you can tune in and give some praise for Tom. He is speaking out for the Mandela Effect community in front of the nation, on AM 1490. So, guys, we really this may or may not be the end. We don't know, but we have to be on guard at all times, because the devil's going to try to sway us his way. He uses little tricks here and there, I firmly believe it. We just have to be strong as a community, and the only way we can do that is just to show love for each other. And I'm so glad that we've had our guests on tonight. That everybody got the chance to speak. Hopefully, what they wanted to say. If there's anything that you guys can think of later, please send it to me. MandelaEffectAwareness@gmail.com. I always try to reply. Of course, I am busy with school and work. It's a little bit of a added thing now, but I don't mind. I'll reply, and we love you all very much.
And thanks to all in the chat there tonight too.
I've been lately analyzing what the follow the white rabbit really means. We see a lot of the following the white rabbit, and a lot of these Hollywood films, it seems.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future features the same tunnel where Who Framed Roger Rabbit takes place. There's a lot of similarities between Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Back to the Future. In fact, you see Roger Rabbit in the window of Back to the Future too, along with the guy pointing out the Cubbies. That he should have put his money on the Cubbies. That's Roger Rabbit's voice. That's the voice of Roger. I didn't know all that, but there's a lot of similarities going on. So much more I wish I could say tonight, but we're gonna save for another show. You guys have any ideas, but don't hesitate to pass them my way. We'll definitely include it on the next show. Anyone have any questions?
No.
Corey, you were gonna. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
No. I was just gonna say no. We're all good, and
I just want to thank Lone Eagle and all you other guys that that chimed on in. I have to say one thing that really resonates with me. There's one thing that really resonates with me is that we have to give everyone their fair shake. We can't judge anyone that has their own opinion about some particular topic. We can't attack them. That's not what this is about. Everyone has the right to their own opinion and their own reality. That's the reason why we're here. Okay?
Yeah.
So, that being said, guys, you're in the right place. And there is no wrong or right about what your true beliefs are. You may not understand what other people may be saying or experiencing, but we don't have to attack each other, okay? There's no reason for a divide. That's not what this is all about. This is the time to unify, and that's exactly what we're all about. So that's what this community is all about. And if that doesn't resonate with you, then perhaps maybe this isn't the right community for you. And that's the reason why we unify with all the people that actually have the same exact message. And there's a lot of different forums out there that are saying just about what effects are happening, and we understand, we see them too. But that's not what this is about. This is about unifying and preparing ourselves for the greatest message of all time, and that's the message of our Lord, our Creator, our Savior. And that's what we're ready for, okay? So that's what I'm ready for anyway. So I'll speak for myself. You guys, I love you all. And everyone out in the chat, I know we didn't get much time to get around to you, but, I love each and every one of you guys that's actually tuning in because you're all desperate for the information. And, and hopefully one of these times we can actually get you on here live so we can put a voice to the name and hear what you guys are saying too. But that's my message. That's all I have.
Amen. Thank you, Troy.
Yep, that's well said.
Corey, can you lead us out with some prayer, man?
Okay. God bless us for hopefully an eventful night for people who are alone and need guidance, and hopefully our show helped you steer you to a good place. Pray for other people that seem to be filled with hate right now. People that we individually know. And I pray for all other families out there who are dealing with illness and the struggles with it. And I know that God will be there with us no matter what the result is. We can't be selfish at these times. If they have to go home, they have to go home. But if they can stay a little longer, that'd be grateful too. But anyway, and all my love to God and to all of you guys. God bless.
Amen.
Corey, you are amazing. I love you, brother. And Brian, always such a pleasure to be invited on your show. All you guys out there that have actually vocalized all your experiences, thank you so much. For me personally, such a pleasure to be in your community, to be on the panel, to say anything I possibly can to enlighten anybody, or just fill you guys with some information on me, so you guys know exactly who I am. Because don't take my word on it, guys. We're all going through our own experiences, but this is a community where we all get to know each other a little bit more intimately than others. just sharing Mandela experiences. And it's such a pleasure, Brian. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you too. Your words are beautiful, man. They're great. Like, I don't think I could have said it any better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Be safe, and we'll see you here, guys, on the next show. Yeah.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
There you go.
Avengers assemble.
All right. Be safe, guys. Love you.
All right.